Hello, everybody, and we're glad to have you with us on a beautiful Saturday evening at Coors Field. The Rockies get set to continue their interleague series against the Detroit Tigers after a big win last night. Hello, everybody. Welcome inside the Rockies clubhouse. I'm Tom Helmer, alongside my partner George Frazier. Rockies have won 3 straight, and it sure feels a lot better coming in here as a player when you're playing this type of baseball.
Well, everybody's, they're waving at you on the streets when you're coming in here. Then you come into this locker room, you got smiling faces throughout the locker room. You're happy to walk in as a teammate with the other 25 guys to win a baseball game. And let me tell you, a winning clubhouse is a happy clubhouse, obviously, and that's from Keith Schultz with the staff all the way down to the bat boys. Everybody wants to be here.
George, you look at the offensive numbers since June 6th. That's when they put Carlos Gonzalez in the 1 hole, put Todd Helton in the 3 hole. A day later, they call up Charlie Blackmon. They're #1 in every major offensive category since that point.
Well, think about it. Did you really think Carlos Gonzalez was going to hit 246? Did you really think Tulowitzki was going to hit 250? So they just shuffle some things. It's like coming to the park when you're in a bad streak. You take a different route. You stop at a different restaurant. You get gas at a different place. You do things differently to shake things up. Obviously, Cargo's taken off. Obviously, Tulowitzki's taken off. Todd Helton's taken off. Wigginton's taken off. And the kid, Charlie Blackmon, has been outstanding.
Well, you mentioned the kid. We're right in front of his locker, Charlie Blackmon. 10 games. He's batting .410. Had a 4-hit game last night, first of his career. This guy's unbelievable.
Let's see, 4 hits last night. So what did he get? 5 hits? I was kidding him and Nelson both last night. We call it blackboard fever. That's where you're on the phone, man. You're just dialing like crazy, calling everybody knows that they got 4 hits. They got this. Watching Charlie, and I was fortunate because I watched him all year last year. He was a big leaguer in Tulsa. Carried himself that way, swung the bat that way, played the outfield that way. He was a big leaguer. You could see that he distinguished himself from all the other players that weren't big leaguers.
Yeah, Jim Tracy said when the game starts, Charlie Blackmon has that look in his eye like, don't talk to him anymore. It's game time. It's go time. And it is go time. Stay right where you are. When we come back, we'll get you set as the Rockies get set to tangle with the Detroit Tigers. To make it 4, it's going to rely heavily on the arm of that man, Ubaldo Jimenez, and he'll have plenty of help behind him, including Charlie Blackmon, who had his first career 4-hit game last night, and Carlos Gonzalez had the Tigers by the tail, driving in 4 runs in the first game of the series. Rockies baseball is next. Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. The Ford Mustang, the all-legend, zero-compromise thrill machine, Ford Mustang Drive One. The new Quest 5-year price lock promise. Visit quest.com/promise for details. And by Southwest Airlines, new Rapid Rewards, unlimited reward seats, and no blackout dates. Welcome into the Mile High City on a beautiful Saturday evening at the corner of 20th and Blake. Ubaldo Jimenez has taken the hill looking for just his second win of the season and his first win against the Tigers. He's 0-2 and 2 tries against him. Jeff Hewson, third member of our broadcast team. How you doing, Jeff? I'm doing well, Tom. And Ubaldo's looking to rebound after that last outing against the Dodgers. It wasn't good, the numbers for him. 5 1/3. It was 11 hits, 7 runs, which was a season high, but only 2 of them were earned. He got away from really what his strength is, and that's using that two-seam fastball. And he got hurt with his off-speed pitches. And I know his numbers here at Coors Field are not good, 0-5 with an ERA over 7. But I look back to last year where he was 9-2, and he had an ERA just above 3. I mean, he was dominating here at Coors Field. Get back tonight to using that two-seam fastball a lot to set up your secondary pitches, not the other way around. All right, thank you, Jeff. As we mentioned, Ubaldo has faced the Tigers twice before, has not beaten them. Austin Jackson will be leading things off, scored a couple runs and stole a base last night for Detroit. Take a look at the rest of their starting lineup, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Don Kelly in the lineup tonight. He'll be playing over at third base. Brennan Bosch will be in right. Miguel Cabrera, they moved him back down to the 4 spot after he batted in the 3 spot last night. Victor Martinez behind the plate. Andy Dirks will be in left. Peralta, who had a grand slam last night back at short, and Ryan Rayburn over at second base.
Well, Ubaldo's numbers, not what you would expect out of Ubaldo Jimenez. Everybody's seen it. They've all pounded it. They've all talked about it. 1-7 overall record this year. One thing I noticed very quickly, Jeff, with his delivery, he seemed to slow down at the top of the delivery to get the right separation and posture. It's just like a hitter, George. You have to go back a little bit and get that pause before you can go forward. Otherwise, you leave everything behind. 9-2 in his record so far. Jeff mentioned that. 319 a year ago at this ballpark. This year has struggled dramatically. 0-5 record. And again, this is something to look at And I look at the offense, how it has ignited over this homestand, averaging 7 runs per start. And for Ubaldo, just 3.6 when he starts at Coors Field.
1-2 the count to Jackson. That one a strike, and he strikes him out.
Well, obviously, when you hit the target and have that type of movement with a hard slider, you have fairly good results, and that's exactly what happened with the pitch.
And he'd come after him with 3 fastballs before they take a look at defensively. Blackman, Gonzalez, and Spilborghs in the outfield. Wigginton, Tulowitzki, Chris Nelson, and Todd Helton in the infield, and Chris Iannetta behind the plate. Don Kelly now up for the Tigers.
And Tom, an encouraging thing right now is the way Ubaldo's fastball is coming out of his hand.
Yeah, the thing you look at with him is velocity, and his first 3 fastballs were 93, 94, and 95.
And we've seen him start some games earlier this year where his first fastball might be 90 or 91.
The 2-0 pitch. That one a strike.
Well, it's pretty comforting to the hitter when you throw one about 15 feet in the air at 96, another one at 94, and then all of a sudden you paint on the black at 94. Tough to get comfortable at home plate.
Here's one popped up in the air. Troy Tulowitzki underneath it, and he puts it away for the second out of the inning. Now the Rockies have been very good against the Tigers historically at home. Last night's victory makes them 8-2 all time here at Coors Field. They've outscored the Tigers 75-53. Detroit, the last time they won a road interleague series was in San Diego in 2008. The Tigers are now 7-15 on the road against the National League since that time.
Look at their earned run averages. The Rockies at 4, while Detroit nearly 8.
There's Brendan Bosch. He's playing in right field tonight as they give Maglio Ordonez the night off. The 2-0 pitch. This one popped up down the third baseline. Wigginton drifting over, but it'll just make the seats.
Jeff, Tom and I were talking about the wind up here, what we were feeling, and almost like a swirling effect. What do you feel on the field?
Well, remember during batting practice, it was blowing straight in from left. Now it's blowing more towards left field out. Down here at field level, not too bad. But I could see that ball. Once it got up towards the third deck, it really drifted.
Here's the 2-1 pitch. Grounded to the right side to Helton. They're fired over to Jimenez for the out. It's a 1-2-3 inning. We head to the bottom of the first. We're scoreless at Coors. Raises $20,000 for prostate cancer research. You can make a pledge by calling 800-798-CURE or by going online to pcf.org. Now the guy leading off for the Rockies had a home run last night, his 10th of the season. Carlos Gonzalez, he drove in 4 runs on a 2-for-4 night. Take a look at the rest of the Rockies lineup, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Chris Nelson batting second, followed by Helton, Tulowitzki, Wigington. Ryan Spilborg's out in right field instead of Seth Smith, just because righties have fared better against the pitcher, Phil Koch.
Well, Koch's fastball will run up to 94, 95 miles an hour at time, and that's something that the left-handed hitters will have to be aware of. He's only given up 1 home run on the season to left-handers, and they've hit a .192 against him, a total of 3 home runs in 243 at-bats at the big league level. Don't let that be deceiving to you. The 1-6 record, earned run average, innings pitched, strikeouts. He worked out of the bullpen for the majority of his career, where he was a stellar performer for the New York Yankees as a 24th round draft pick.
George, he reminds me of Ron Vallone, just stature and the way he turns and everything about him and the way he stands on the mound.
You know, him and the guy Sherrill, they used to pitch.
George
He
Sherrill,
hides the baseball behind him real well, and then here it comes with some pretty good heat on it. That fastball at 93 miles an hour. He'll actually utilize his change against right-handers more than he will his slider. He'll throw it close to 15%. Nice breaking ball there.
This replay brought to you by the Colorado Lottery. 2 people will become millionaires in the July 1st bonus millionaire raffle drawing. Buy your tickets today. 5th inning last night, Carlos Gonzalez, a solo shot, his 10th home run of the season. It capped a night in which I said he drove in 4 runs. It's a ground ball to first. Cabrera has it, steps on the bag for the first out. Take a look at how the Tigers stack up defensively tonight. They put Andy Dirks in left field. That's where Bosch was last night, and they've moved Bosch over to right field. Don Kelly at third base. They had Avila there last night. Peralta, Rayburn, and Cabrera around the infield. And Victor Martinez once again behind the plate. Chris Nelson, now the batter, hit his first major league home run last night. And he got the ball back. I said you hit it in a perfect spot, right out in the tunnel down the left field line.
Yeah. Anytime
you hit a significant homer at Coors, put it in that tunnel,
well,
you'll always get the ball back.
Mark Razum's office is right over here into that corner. His deal's right there, so you can go into the door, make the phone call. And Raz, there's a ball down there. Could you grab that for us, please? We would like to have that for Mr. Nelson.
He didn't have to do any bartering either.
No. Oh, there will be some exchanging of some kind. I just want to see the air and see what happens on this ball. Initially, watching Dirks take off on that ball, he took straight back on the baseball and then had to circle and utilize his speed to get in and make a play on it. Watching this from high home, you'll really see his break, and then, I got to get on a high horse to get in here and make a play on this baseball.
Well, that'll bring up Todd Helton, who picked up his 2,300th career hit last night. He's the 141st player in Major League history with 23 hits. And he fouls the first one back. Rockies have always done well in interleague play, or at least since 2006, where they're 49-30, which is best in the National League.
Left-hander. A little bit surprised, Jeff, that they're not shading him more to left field with a hard-throwing left-hander. That's something Todd does great. Taking the ball, pitching him away. That fastball missed away to run the count to 2-1.
But even last night, they were to the pull side with almost everybody. And I totally agree with you, George, in your point with Todd Helton, because that left shoulder or his right shoulder stays in so well. If they pitch him away, he'll drive the ball over the third baseman's head or into the gap.
That one a strike, so the count now even at 2-2.
That was an American League pitch, folks. 2-1 count, and you throw the breaking ball behind in the count, because so many times in the National League you just don't see that. And on the Ultra Mo, you'll see Todd flinch. Watch how his shoulder breaks back, and then get good pitch recognition out of the hand.
This one grounded is short. Throw to first in time, so it's a 1-2-3 inning. We head to the second. We're scoreless.
Top two at Coors Field, no score. Let's talk about the three Venezuelan batting champs. And the first is a guy who's celebrating his 50th birthday today. That would be Andres Galarraga. Back in 1993 as a Rocky, he hit 370. Maglio Ordonez of the Tigers in the park tonight. 2007, he hit 363. And then last year, of course, Carlos Gonzalez hitting 336. And Huey and I were talking about this, guys. Carlos Gonzalez has raised his batting average during this homestand from 249 to 280. And last year, he was hitting 295 at this time. Not that far off when you think of things.
Well, you're going to play every day. You're going to stay hot. You're leading off. You're going to get some fastballs to hit. It's not like they're going to intentionally walk you early in the game. Cabrera with a base hit to right field. How about this, Tom? I just handed a great note from Doug Marino, who does stats for us up here. The Rockies have scored in the first inning only twice in the last 25 ball games. So a lot of come from behind wins, a lot of runs scored late, and sometimes not many.
On Cabrera on first, he loves hitting here. Prior to that at bat, hitting .431 at Coors Field in 16 games, 4 home runs, 15 runs driven in. Last night he was 3 for 5, had 2 singles and a double. So he likes hitting here.
Well, he just has one of those swings, Tom, where he can pull it if you pitch him inside. That pitch was in just a little bit, but he used his hands to go the other way. It's fun to see major league hitters, how they make the adjustments game in to game out.
There's Victor Martinez, who looks at a first pitch strike.
I'm trying to think in the National League or American League, I should say, who they would face over there. Maybe Josh Beckett, that has the type of velocity and stuff that Ubaldo has, because when you haven't seen somebody, you know, you'll ask, compare him to somebody for me.
Felix Hernandez, maybe.
Yeah, you know, give me a guy that I've faced before so I know what somewhat to expect. I mean, you can look at a lot of video, but, you know, give me somebody I've actually faced to help me make that adjustment or what to look for.
Well, Victor Martinez, since coming off the DL May 4th, hitting .356. He's had 4 homers, driven in 30 runs, and the Tigers are 25 and 15 over that stretch. Swing and a miss, and he strikes him out on 3 pitches.
I tell you what, he hadn't seen something like that. He looked back. That's a hard slider. And again, Ubaldo's velocity on his slider has been about 79 to 82. Tonight it's been 84, 86. This thing disappeared under the bat. I'm a big believer of hard slider in the dirt on the back foot of a left-handed hitter. If they hit it, they're going to pull it into the dugout or foul. Very difficult because the ball's driving in under the hands.
Or you'll take one and foul it right off the front ankle bone.
And then what do? You go right back in there again.
Dirt swings at the first pitch, fouls that one back. Well, you talk about the Detroit Tigers. They're 6 games over 500, currently tied with the Cleveland Indians for first place in the American League Central. Miguel Cabrera has been a big part of that, as has Max Scherzer. And Justin Verlander, a guy we'll see on the hill tomorrow, who's got a no-hitter this year. It seems like he throws no-hitters or comes close every time he steps on the hill. In fact, he was joking with one of the relief pitchers in the clubhouse today, saying, you know, oh, come on, just pitch the whole 9 innings today. Get another complete game. Give us a rest.
Well, who's the other Tiger he reminds you of with the history side of things? For me, a guy like Jack Morris.
Yeah.
That would go out all the time and work into the 8th and 9th inning. And, of course, that historic game in the World Series for the Twins.
Who wants tacos? Fans, remember, if the Rockies score 7 or more runs during any game, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day between 4 and 6 p.m. and get your Rockies taco special. Feed your Rockies fever only at Taco Bell. Johnny Peralta will step into the batter's box. Peralta only 5 for his last 24 at the plate. But in those 5, he's got 3 homers and 7 RBI. Now we take you back to last night. Peralta at the plate with the bases jammed in the 6th inning. And he connects on his 11th homer of the year, a grand slam. Unfortunately for the Tigers at that point, the Rockies were running away with it in a 13-6 victory. See Cabrera at first. 2-0 the count. There's a strike from Jimenez.
Well, it looks like the slider is the pitch for Ubaldo right now, the one that makes the most sense for his off-speed pitches.
That's what he struck Austin Jackson out on in the first inning. Swing and a miss there. The count now even at 2-2.
Seems to have the best command of it right now. I think that's the one thing. Hey, help send your favorite Rocky to the All-Star game. That's right. Vote today at ColoradoRockies.com. Tom told me you can do it 25 times.
Yes.
Just keep voting for your guys.
It's legal.
Absolutely. Well, I don't think you would ask the fan to do anything illegal.
No. But you were, it seemed like you were inferring. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Grounded towards Tulowitzki. He'll step on second base. We head to the bottom of the second. We're still scoreless at Coors Field.
I love it. I really do. I think it's great for the game, and you know, if everybody has their opinions, some good, some bad, but I like it, and I enjoy playing different teams. Only thing I don't like is facing the relievers, because you don't get to see the relievers as much, and you know, a lot of times they have a specialty pitch that you know is you get used to facing a guy, and you get used to, you know, what he's going to throw in certain situations, and you have no, you don't have that feel for that.
And that's understandable, because you're seeing guys for one inning, maybe a left-handed specialist, a young kid like last night. Daniel Slareth come in, even though the game was 13-6, he struck out Todd Helton, but Helton's getting to look at 4 or 5 pitches from Daniel Slareth versus seeing him 8, 9, 10 times over the course of the season, where he can form a pattern of success.
Sure.
I think interleague's great. I love it. And I'm old-fashioned. And when it comes to baseball, but I love interleague play. I think it's wonderful for the fans. I know the hotel I'm staying here in Denver, there is a ton of Detroit Tiger fans staying there. The 16th Street Mall is packed with them.
Tulowitzki with a fly ball to Jackson. There's one away. Well, you want one reason for why interleague works, you just have to look at Coors Field tonight. It's a sellout or near sellout crowd tonight here at Coors Field, and there are a large number of Tiger fans here, as there's a lot of transfers from the Midwest that live out this way in Denver, Colorado. But it's a chance for even the Rockies fans to see different teams, and you get that excitement too when the Yankees or the Red Sox come through. I mean, it's something special.
Well, first of all, the city's great to come to. So that's why a lot of fans will fly here. You can get in now with the numerous airlines, and you can come here, and then you can go and enjoy not only the city, the ballpark, go to the mountains. There's a lot of things to do in Denver in the summertime, and I think people look and say, hey, Detroit people, hey, let's go to Denver.
Yeah, Jeff, there's a little different buzz around the ballpark on this series.
It really is. As you see the base hit from Wigington almost hit Koch in the leg. But it was fun walking down here today and just walking on the concourse before I came and sat down here. And you saw the mixture of some Tigers, but a lot of Rockies fans wearing their paraphernalia. You look up here in the stands, and it's all packed with fans. The electricity is in one of these games is like last year when Boston was here, being down here at field level. There's just a certain feel that a team that you might play, say, 15, 18 times, Arizona, L.A., those are nice later on in the season when you're going for the pennant. But this brings a little bit more excitement to the ballpark when you know you're coming and playing in front of 50,000 people.
Well, that helps, and I think, too, for the fans coming in, the Rockies fans, they haven't got a look at Cabrera in a long, long time. I mean, here's a guy that, Florida Marlins, and now all of a sudden a free agent contract signed to see probably one of the best right-handed pitchers in all of baseball with Verlander going on Sunday.
I look forward to tomorrow's pitching matchup. Verlander going against Cook. I think that'll be a well-pitched game on both sides. There you see Justin Verlander, who's coming off a two-hitter against Cleveland, where he took a no-hitter into the 8th inning. Spielborg's grounded to short. Peralta over to second for 1 out. They won't make the throw to first. And there's 2 away. Well, I mentioned tomorrow Justin Verlander will be on the hill for the Tigers going up against Aaron Cook. Cook looking for his first win of the season since coming off the DL. As I said, should be a well-pitched ball game.
Cook's on his game. Obviously, you know what Verlander's going to bring. He's going to bring heat that can touch 100 and all the breaking balls, off-speed stuff. You see the strikeouts per innings pitched. He doesn't walk people. But if Aaron Cook's on his game, Verlander won't be sitting in the dugout very long. It'll be short innings for him.
Now here's Charlie Blackmon, who's been nothing but phenomenal since getting called up from AAA. If you look at the National League since June 7th, when Blackmon started playing, he's 4th on the list of hitters, hitting .410. The other 3 ahead of him, Matt Kemp, Carlos Gonzalez, and Justin Upton.
It just tells you what kind of place Charlie's in as a hitter, laying off that 1-0 breaking pitch.
And how much confidence does his manager give to him? He's had 3 starts against left-handers. He's been brought up, and it's a testament to his ability to play the game that they continue to give him the opportunities, particularly against a guy like tonight, because Coke can bring it up to 94 miles an hour, hard slider. But managers, to me, can give confidence a lot to your bullpen, but they can do an awful lot for your everyday players or guys, young kids that are brought up through conversation and putting them in the lineup every day.
Here's the 2-0 pitch. We'll check on Spielborg's over at first base. Last night, Charlie Blackmon had his first career 4-hit game. Singled in the 2nd, laid down a beautiful bunt in the 3rd inning, singled in the 4th, and singled in the 6th, drove in a pair of runs, scored a pair of runs. Just another night at the ballpark for Charlie Blackmon, who's 11 for his last 16 with 5 RBI. Ball 3. So Coke behind Blackmon.
All right, now Coke's pitching to Blackmon as if he's Todd Helton.
You got Chris Iannetta sitting there on deck. And he walks him on 4 straight pitches. Here's what Jim Tracy had to say earlier about Charlie Blackmon.
I told Charlie, I said, what kind of vehicle you got? He said, a 5-speed. I said, put it in 4th. He's a real good-looking young player. He is a really good-looking young player that, this city and this organization, just like some of these other young guys we have running around out there, they're going to grow together. It's going to be a fun thing to watch. He's made quite a statement for himself, not with his mouth, just his actions.
And Jim Tracy was responding to a question I'd asked him. I said, have you told him to slow it down a little bit? He's raised the bar pretty high out of the gate here. I don't know if he can keep it up. You hope he can.
Let him try.
Yeah.
Let him try. It's okay.
Hey, he's having fun. 1-0 pitch. Misses, ball 2. He says when the ball game starts, you look at Charlie Blackmon's eyes, and he's locked in. He doesn't want you to talk to him. He's ready to play baseball. He says he loves that about Blackmon. The 2-0 pitch to Iannetta. And that one misses. So now he's 3-0 on Iannetta.
Well, that's been a difference for him. When he's worked out of the bullpen, he really attacked. But since going to the rotation, the guy that can walk some hitters, so that makes it a little more difficult for him. And again, when you get behind wherever you are in your lineup, and Iannetta has done a tremendous job in the 8-hole for the Rockies, and amazing to a lot of people, you're going to get Ubaldo up with 2 outs. Amazing, you know, Chris Iannetta for 8-hole hitters leading all of baseball with 29. Home runs tied with the National League lead in home runs. So, I mean, there's a lot of great things that Iannetta's doing hitting out of the 8-hole that a lot of guys don't maybe take notice of because where he hits in the average right now.
Ubaldo Jimenez looking for his first hit of the season. And it'd be a big one if he could get one here. Bases loaded for the Rockies in the bottom of the second with 2 outs. The pitch from Koch. This one right back up the middle. It's a base hit. Spielborgs will score. Blackmon will score. Iannetta headed to third, and the Rockies have a 2-0 lead.
First base hit of the year for Ubaldo Jimenez. A year ago, he swung the bat very well in that wonderful season where he won 19 ball games. And he takes the first offering with a base hit into left center field for Phil Koch and makes it pay with the bases loaded. 2 out walks to load the bases, put 2 players in scoring position, and a gut shot fastball cost him. A line drive into left center field is going to make it easy for Spielborgs and Blackmon to score and end up with a first and third situation. Now you deal with Cargo.
Yeah, now you've really got problems on your hands.
Carney was joking with Ubaldo today during batting practice. Said, hey, are you going to get a hit tonight? Ubaldo said, yep.
And it was a big one. Gonzalez pops it up. This one will reach back to the seats.
Watching from center field when this ball leaves the bat and heads out over the shortstop and then into the outfield. Now the chase begins. Jackson's got to try to get rid of the baseball, and to me, he made the errant throw, Jeff. He went for the home plate play on Blackmon and allowed Iannetta to move up.
Yeah, if you're played that far over into right center field, the ball's over into left center, go ahead and just throw it to third base. Another mental mistake from the Tigers.
Gonzalez with a base hit to right. That'll bring in Iannetta. Jimenez pushing for third. He'll be safe. It's 3-0 Rockies.
Now, how about this for Carlos Gonzalez? With all the numbers being talked about this year, he's now 10 for 19 with runners in scoring position and 2 outs. So he adds to the total to make it a 3-0 ball game for the Colorado Rockies on a high pitch inside off of the plate. May have even broke his bat. Jeff's down on there at the field side. He probably could tell the difference if it broke the bat or not. But Rick Knapp, the pitching coach, will make the visit to the mound to talk to Koch now with runners at first and third and 2 outs. All of this coming with 2 outs in the inning.
And that bat did break by Carlos Gonzalez, but it goes back to the point you and I were talking about a moment ago, George. If the center fielder, Austin Jackson, throws it to third, keeps Chris Iannetta at second base, you can have a little bit more of a difficult decision if you're Richie Dower. Do you send Chris Iannetta? Possible play at the plate, but now it's an easy trot home for him.
Absolutely. I mean, the fundamentals of defense in the game of baseball will play and show up in a game. Obviously, when you don't play the game fundamentally sound, it'll cost you runs, and it does here.
Man, it doesn't show up as an error on the scoreboard, but it was a mental mistake.
No, it's just an earned run on Koch.
Well, spoken like a true pitcher.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's right.
Well, here's Chris Nelson with runners at the corner, 2 outs. Here's today's Colorado Mining Association Power Hit of the Week. Last night, second inning, Chris Nelson down the left field line, his first major league homer. It was a 3-run shot, part of a 6-run inning for Colorado. Did you know that the Department of Defense uses more than 700,000 tons of minerals annually? And many of those minerals are mined right here in Colorado. Well, there's the final out of the inning. But the Rockies push 3 across thanks to a 2 RBI single by Ubaldo Jimenez.
Town. How can we not talk about the Georgia Peach, Ty Cobb, who the Tigers bought from the Augusta Taurus in 1905 for $750. You saw his career numbers. I love this. The Hall of Fame, the initial Hall of Fame, he was one of the 5 inductees. You see Babe Ruth there along with he and Walter Johnson, Christy Mathewson, and Honus Wagner. Ty Cobb. Let's go back to the guys.
All right, thank you, Mark. Rockies with a 3-0 lead as we start action in the top of the 3rd. We're joined by a special guest here in the booth, Colorado men's basketball coach Tad Boyle. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
You guys had a phenomenal season last year, and I know everybody felt like you guys got jilted when you didn't make the NCAA tournament, but you responded great in the NIT.
Yeah, our guys really responded well. You don't know. I knew that Monday after Selection Sunday when we practiced, we had one of the best practices of the year, and that was really refreshing. I knew we would bounce back after that, but up until then, I had no idea. And I was really proud of our guys for how they handled that.
Yeah, it is a big letdown for guys to deal with when you had the anticipation and deserve to be there, and
sure,
then not have it happen. And you're like, okay, what are we going to get tomorrow when we walk in here?
Yeah, you never know what life's going to throw at you, and our guys really responded well. It's a great life lesson for them. I said at the time, and I say it now, you know, the people I feel worse for are 5 seniors. Everybody else in the program is going to have a chance to do it again.
And, Coach, this is an exciting time for you guys as we see Ryan Rayburn with a fly ball to center field, shallow center. Carlos Gonzalez has it, and there's 1 away. As you guys make the transition now into the Pac-12.
Yeah, it's a great move for our institution and all of our sports programs. We're very excited about it. I think we have great leadership at the University of Colorado, from President Benson to Phil DeStefano to Mike Bone. They did a great job of being at the forefront of all the conference realignment that was going on last summer. We're fortunate to be in the great conference, and going forward, we're excited about it.
And well, they did a great job. They hired you.
That's right. Yeah, there you go.
They hired you. Well, now this really.
I wasn't going to go there, George.
Well,
but I
want to.
that.
Well, they did. I watched you coach a long time. Now, this is going to expand your recruiting, obviously, because now you're going to be into the California areas, Oregon, all around now playing basketball. That's going to help.
It really is. And we already signed 3 kids from L.A. That'll be on campus next fall. So it's already started to pay dividends on the recruiting front, and it's going to allow us to go out west in full force. And I know John Embry, our football coach, and Linda Lappy, our women's basketball coach, we're all kind of going that direction recruiting-wise. And there's a lot of momentum, a lot of excitement on the West Coast about the Buffs.
Well, Phil Koch at the plate. This is his 2nd major league at bat. His last one came in 2009.
And it wasn't very good.
And he struck out in that appearance. He's behind 1 and 2 here.
I've been to many Rockies games. I've seen Ubaldo pitch, I think, 4 or 5 times. I haven't seen him lose yet, so I'm feeling
well, good. You're like
Where
you been on the other 6?
I know. I should have been here earlier, right?
Why would you be recruiting? We need you here with
Coach, I was taking a glance at the basketball schedule, and it looks like your first Pac-12 game will be against the other newcomer, Utah.
Yeah, they have us. I think we're playing. We're at home. It's either the 30th or 31st of December. I can't remember off the top of my head, but there'll be a new rival for us.
I'll tell you what I thought was really neat this year for me to watch, because I've been here 15 years doing Rockies baseball, but I live in Oklahoma. But obviously, I see a lot of Big 12 games. I love seeing the stadium packed.
Yeah.
Looking at that arena and seeing it stacked to the rim. You brought excitement. The team did, and that was neat to see.
Well, it takes both. It takes a good team. It's fun to watch, and it takes a fan base that can get excited about that team. Our fans were terrific this year. 5 sellouts, and the most they've ever had at the Coors Event Center up until this year was 2. So our fans were phenomenal. Our players responded to that.
Then you got to feel good about the team you have moving forward as you move into this new conference and build on what you guys did last year.
Yeah, I do. I feel good about it. We lose, a lot of production. We lose 70% of our scoring.
Right.
But we've got some good returning players. Recruiting, like I said, has gone very, very well, and the momentum's picking up, and we're going to finish up with another good recruiting class on top of this one, and I like the direction our program's headed.
You need that type of success, though, for the underclassmen to know how things work and to go through that postseason play to build on.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all part of the process of building a program, Tom. You're exactly right. So it was a great first year, and we're looking to build on it. And I know our fans are excited. The whole state of Colorado got excited, which is neat to see.
Here's Austin Jackson to plate. I haven't been up on campus in a little bit. Is the new practice facility done? Is that all done?
It is. They're putting the finishing touches on it right now, so it'll be another couple weeks before they get it all cleaned up. But it is awesome, and anybody who hasn't been to Boulder recently needs to drive by there, the Coors Event Center. They'll be pleasantly surprised. It was a great investment in our program, all of our programs, and it's going to pay dividends on the recruiting trail.
We look forward to getting up there this fall and this winter and seeing you guys in action. 2-1 pitch to Jackson, right back up the middle for a base hit.
People don't realize, and of course I saw that at Gallagher-Iber where they did all the improvements there and what they've done with football. Thank you, Mr. Pickens. But all the improvements that they made there, what a recruiting tool it is, because those athletes are visiting other places.
Yeah.
And to go, hey, how do you like our practice? Oh man, that's pretty good.
That's right. And we've got such a beautiful place to recruit to begin with, and then you add on the facilities on top of that, and we've got a lot to sell. As long as we can get people on campus, we got a great shot.
Sure.
That's the key.
Well, you got a lot of excitement to build off of, and I know that fan base continued to grow last year, and everybody's excited about the job you're doing up there.
Well, I appreciate that.
There's a base hit to left field by Don Kelly. So Baldo's given up 2 straight singles. And now he'll face Brennan Bosch.
Well, everything happened earlier with a couple of outs in the inning to Coke. You don't want that happening here, so make a pitch before you get in the middle of the lineup, particularly, Jeff, when you're dealing with Cabrera. You don't want him up with men on base.
No, that's why Bosch is so important to get out here. That pitch by Ubaldo, Don Kelly just went with it to left field.
An old scout told me one time, you know what, the other team practices too. You can really make great pitches. They hit them, they don't catch them all. It's kind of like the same thing in basketball. Well, those other guys practice shooting too. That's why they make them every now and then. That's what Jeff's talking about. Down and away from him at 93 miles an hour, and he just sliced it into the outfield. If you notice, that lower body stayed very calm, which allowed the head to follow and track the baseball.
There's one line right to Tulowitzki. That'll be the final out of the inning. Coach Ted Boyle, thank you very much for joining us up here. Good luck this basketball season.
Thanks so much.
It's going to be fun.
We look forward to it.
Absolutely. Go Buffs.
All right, thanks, Coach. We'll be right back here to Coors Field. E470, the road ahead is brought to you by E470. Find E470 on Facebook for details on how to win free tolls. The Rockies will wrap up this series with the Tigers tomorrow. Then they'll hit the road for 3 against the Cleveland Indians. And then it's into the Bronx for 3 against the New York Yankees. Todd Helton leading things off for the Rockies here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. The rest of the interleague schedule is as follows. The Rockies will play the Chicago White Sox here, followed by the Kansas City Royals. In between the New York and White Sox series, the Rockies will stop on the north side of Chicago for 1 game against the Cubs, a makeup from a rainout earlier in the season.
The rainout that never happened?
The rainout that had no rain.
Yeah, that had no rain.
Sunshine and dry as I was at the airport to fly out of Chicago for that one.
And make sure you make a note when Kansas City comes into town, former Rocky and a fan favorite too. Jeff Francis is pitching for that ball club, so hopefully he'll start in that series against the Rockies at Coors Field. Ozzie Guillen, I'm sure he'll have something wonderful to say to everyone in baseball by then.
Just once?
He's never
You never know. I mean, I like it.
I like it too. I like Ozzie. I like playing against him. It brings a definite energy.
He's a pretty good manager.
Now this is the 15th game for Todd Helton, hitting in the 3-hole, where he's hitting .397 with 4 homers, and he's driven in 9 runs. Fouled on the right field line. Boy, that one bounced around like a ping pong ball.
Did you bring a glove tonight?
I got it.
Attaboy.
Stay alert down there, Huey.
I'm ready.
We don't want a recap of what happened last night. Look at that.
I didn't have the
boy. It's got your name on it too.
Of course, not the Al K line like I was talking about last night, huh, guys?
Well, he walks Todd Helton. If you didn't join us last night, there was a foul ball over near the camera well. We felt that Jeff could have put a little more effort into getting that ball. Of course, he didn't have a glove. He said he leaned. He may have tipped a little bit. And the fans behind him let him know that they thought he could have given a little bit more there to try and get that foul ball.
Yeah, see?
Catch the ball, Huey. That's great.
Oh, boy.
She was watching.
She was. Now, I got her protected tonight, though. See?
There you go.
We got it right here. Hey, guys, earlier today, I just thought I'd go out and practice a little bit so I wasn't embarrassed today.
How'd that go?
Really well.
I'm going to show these guys I can do it. I can do it. All right, there's one. I knew I could catch it. Oh, this one's tougher. Oh, see if they give me grief anymore.
Wow.
Oh, Willie Mays. Maybe one more.
Tulowitzki pops this one up. Peralta underneath it. And puts it away for the first out of the inning. Jeff, that was impressive. And those balls look like they were coming in hard, too.
Well, Mark Stout helped me with those. Yeah, I mean, they were almost above the light standards. I kind of lost him after a while.
Okay.
He was just chucking them way up there.
Hey, let's stop while you're ahead.
I hope you get a chance tonight, Jeff.
I know. I'm ready. I am ready. I'm not going to be I had too many texts and phone calls and emails saying, boy, not much of an effort on that, was there?
Here's Ty Wigginton, who singled back in the 2nd inning. Wigginton's done a nice job of becoming that everyday third baseman that the Rockies have been looking for.
Yeah, there's that changeup. He likes to throw that to right-handers. Has a little tail and fade to it. It'll run typically velocity-wise 80 to 84 miles an hour. He likes to use it about 20% of the time. Now, one thing he will do is he'll run the fastball in on the right-handers, and if it goes away, it's going to have a sink action to it, much like that one.
There's a line drive for an out. There's 2 away. Well, Jim Leyland, of course, was the manager for the Rockies in 1999, and again today he was asked about interleague play. He had a losing home record at Coors Field, the only Rockies manager to do that. But if you look at his record with the Pirates, the Marlins, and the Tigers, they all include trips to the postseason. He took the Tigers to the 2006 World Series in his first year at the helm at Detroit. And he's a guy, he says this is a beautiful ballpark, ground ball to short. That'll be picked off and thrown over to second. That'll be the final out of the inning. We'll have more on Jim Leyland when we return. The Rockies leading this ball game 3-0 as we head to the top of the 4th inning. We were talking about Jim Leyland at the bottom half of the 3rd inning, and before the ball game he was addressing the media and saying that he loves this ballpark. It's a beautiful park, great atmosphere, but he also said, as we heard Todd Helton rave about interleague play earlier, he said he's done with it, and he said it is penalizing his team this 6-game stretch when he's got to take his DH out of play. He goes, we've built our team for a DH, and when we go into a park to play a National League team, they're not playing the real us. They're playing a different version of us. And he goes, in that sense, it's not fair. And I understand to a degree what he's saying.
Well, I do too, because he's got to realign his lineup and change people around that maybe aren't normally there. I mean, Victor Martinez has not caught that many games. Avila had caught 52 ball games this year. So for Martinez to go behind the plate because you want his bat there, is it a detriment to your pitching staff who he has not caught?
But I want to flip it a little bit, because I was talking to Ty Wigington about this. He thought the advantage went to the American League club because you take an Alex Avila out of the lineup tonight. Okay, I get that much. But here's a guy that's had 20 to 25 at bats this whole week coming into this series. So when he's ready to pinch hit, is he going to have more of an advantage than, say, a Jason Giambi, who hasn't had the regular playing time, and a lot of his have been coming off of just straight pinch hits?
Oh, all that makes great sense. I mean, it really does, because Giambi is the pinch hitter and then Avila is the everyday guy.
This is Miguel Cabrera at the plate, who singled back in the 2nd inning. It's the 3-1 pitch. This one fouled off.
Is that Wilk back up again? What did he go, 3 innings last night?
Yeah, I can't believe that he's back up in the pen.
Skip, I'm okay. Just ask me. I'd go again. He went 4 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs. He didn't walk a batter. He struck out 3. Really?
Threw 65 pitches.
Well, maybe he's just playing
I'd actually be stunned if we see him come in a game after what he did yesterday. The workload. Here's the 3-2 pitch, and he walks Cabrera. So the leadoff man on for the Tigers, and that'll bring up the catcher, Victor Martinez. Near capacity crowd here. I'd say a capacity crowd at Coors Field tonight for the 2nd game of this 3-game series against the Tigers.
Yeah, 3rd deck completely.
Yeah. Yeah, we were talking earlier about who has the advantage in interleague play, and the American League has the edge. It's you're close to 150 games, somewhere in that. My math isn't great, so I'm trying to add and subtract on the fly, but the American League has the edge. So I guess that goes to your point, Huey.
Well, maybe they have a little bit different disadvantage when they come to a National League park because of the pitchers from the National League hitting and the American League not hitting. So maybe from that side, I like it. I'm with George. I'm an old school guy. I don't like a lot of change in baseball, but I did like this change.
Well, this fan's thrilled. He got a Victor Martinez foul ball, so he's got his Tiger shirt on. It was all worth the trip to Coors Field, Huey.
Well, for him, but it's really worth it for the Rockies fans right now because they're up 3-0.
Absolutely,
But I just think you get to see different parts or different ball clubs that you only read about or see on highlights.
Well, the only way you were going to play in Yankee Stadium if you're a Colorado Rockies, get to the World Series.
Yeah.
You have an opportunity to go. Same thing in Cleveland as you travel there to play in interleague play. I think it is an advantage for the Rockies to have the 3 here against Detroit, and then to have Kansas City and Chicago in your home park too. So you've got that number of ball games being played here versus more out on the road.
Here's the 2-1 pitch.
It's the Rockies 29-8 in interleague play at home.
Right.
Big number.
Yeah. Well, obviously, American League pitchers have to adjust when they don't get a chance to throw here at a regular basis to pitching in Coors Field.
Well, I think a lot of those guys, though, when you do this, they know they're coming in. Or like the starting pitchers will start swinging the bat a week to 10 days ago.
Right.
The main thing they work on is bunting, because that's most of the situations they're going to be put in, not swinging the bat. That guy on the right here, this guy with the beard right there, he could really swing it. Brad Penny. He's a very, very good hitting pitcher.
Goes next to Verlander. The Rockies are going to miss Penny, and Max Scherzer out of the Tigers rotation.
Let's see if he goes back to the slider when he struck him out last time.
3-2 pitch, grounder up the middle. That one a base hit. Cabrera will move over to third base, and the Tigers have runners at first and third with nobody out. Well, we've been talking about interleague play. Who likes it? Who doesn't? Let's hear what Houston Street thinks about it.
Interleague's a fun part of the game. It's one of those things where, you know, people have their own opinions. For me, I like it. For me, I like the seeing different cities, seeing different teams.
Well, that's interesting because, you know, he came from the American League, so he's been to all those other cities you're traveling into. So it's fun for him, obviously, to still go out and compete against the American League teams.
Well, here's Andy Dirks with runners at the corner. Pops that one up. That one will make it back to the seats. Dirks hit his first major league homer back on May 23rd against Tampa Bay, and had a career high 3 hits this past Tuesday against the Indians. Windshield damage? Call Safelite Auto Glass at 303-287-5000 or go to safelight.com.
1-1 count. You want to throw something that's moving down in the zone. Just the worst case scenario, you give up a ground ball double play like this.
Helton over to second base. Now they got him to run down. They'll come home with the throw, and they've got him at the plate. Cabrera is out.
Second time he's been thrown out at the plate, that time by a very strong arm of Tulowitzki. Well, Ubaldo did just what he wanted to do. He got the ball down, and he got the ball hit on the ground with a former Gold Glove winner at first base, and Todd Helton is able to pick this baseball, step on the bag, checks the runner, goes to second. Now that strong arm of Tulowitzki with its accuracy, a perfect throw thrown in. Cabrera thought he went around the tag with his lead foot. Let's see if it got in. The tag applied as he went by. The foot was not down from that first look as he came into the home plate area. See, there's the tag. He's out, but it's a close play, but he is out. Good call by Fielding Kilbreth, the home plate umpire. 2 nights in a row he's been out at the plate. Not your conventional double play, Tom, but that's what you wanted. Everybody's out in pretty good position now to get out of this inning.
After scoring it at home, it's a 3-6-2 double play. So the Tigers go from having runners at the corner with nobody out to a runner at second with 2 outs, and Johnny Peralta at the plate.
That could not have been run any better.
Well, 2 Gold Glovers handling the baseball. Then last night he tried to score at the plate, and Cardell gets it. Same result, same reaction from Cabrera. 2 nights in a row he's bared down at home plate, and the Rockies defense has come through. Whereas last night, Jeff, their defense cost them runs on relay plays.
Yeah, and possibly tonight where they threw to the wrong base, allowing Chris Iannetta to advance to third might have cost him a run. But Todd Helton stepping on the bag, checking the runner to freeze him, to give it to Tulo, and then the strong throw home.
The 2-1 pitch. It's ball 3.
It's nice to know when you take that little hill in the middle of the field, you have former Gold Glovers and Gold Glovers playing behind you in 3 of the 8 positions. It's fun.
3-1 pitch from Jimenez. 1 strike. So the count full now on Peralta.
It's the 8-hole hitter, excuse me, 7-hole hitter. And I know he came up and hit the ball hard last time up, but I still attack with the fastball. They will, and it looks like it's going to dump.
That one's going to drop. Martinez is going to score. Peralta heads for second base. He's got himself a double, and it's a 3-1 ball game.
Now that's where you just tip your hat to the hitter, Jeff. I mean, you make a nasty pitch like this, down and away out of the strike zone, and again, and a full count obviously plays a little bit into the hitter's favor. But to make this type of pitch down and away, and he just goes with it, and the luck came with the hitter this time. It's fair by inches.
And it's not off the sweet spot. That was down more towards the label, and you're just hoping that it would go foul. It didn't, but he kept his hands inside. You beat him, and you just have to tip your cap to Johnny Peralta.
Bob Apodaca had a quick visit with Ubaldo Jimenez. Ubaldo walked Miguel Cabrera to start the inning, and the next 3 batters have put the ball in play. Victor Martinez had a single. Andy Dirks hit into the 3-6-2 double play, and then Peralta doubled.
But I like the way that Ubaldo challenged him on that pitch. We've talked about Ubaldo sometimes this year falling in love with that split finger. He challenged him. The guy got it. But that happens. Now you walk this guy to get to the pitcher, get him out, and you're still up 3-1.
All the more reason for Jim Leland not to like interleague play here. He'd like to have his hitter in that ninth spot, not a pitcher.
Sorry, it's the rules. Deal with it.
I mean, I could see, like in the NFL, the equivalent would be one conference gets to use a kicker for extra points and field goals, and the other conference has to use a position player to kick extra point and field goals.
Tom, I don't disagree with you there.
No, I'm not. I'm just stating. I mean, how different it is for the 2 different leagues.
Or a designated free throw shooter in basketball.
Sure.
Okay, so whatever team Shaq's on, you've got a guy that can come in and just shoot free throws for
yeah.
But my point is, why don't you have uniform rules? Just do away with the DH.
Yeah. Well, 0-1 the count to Phil Coke.
Really moved Charlie Blackmon in on left field. That both Ty Wigginton and Tulo were waving him in.
Well, the guy hasn't yet to get a base hit. He's bailing, meaning that front side, his lead leg is stepping towards first base against a right-hander, and he's on the left-hand side of the box. So if he hits and makes contact, it's going to left field.
The 0-2 pitch. He struck him out. They'll have to make the throw to finish it off. Coke trotting up the line. Helton steps on the bag. We head to the bottom of the 4th. Rockies lead at 3-1. Lead at 3-1 as we head to the bottom of the fourth. Let's go down to Mark Stout with today's Fast Cash Sideline Report, brought to you by Fast Cash Gold Centers, where you'll always get 40% more for your gold. Mark.
All right, guys. Phil Koch strikes out. That was his third at bat in the big leagues. Tom, you mentioned his first at bat, 09 interleague. He was with the Yankees. Joe Girardi said bunt or you get fined. He did bunt. He bunted foul. It goes as a strikeout. Now, because I knew we'd be talking about pitchers hitting, I checked Frazier's record at the plate. George, you had 3 hits as a big leaguer. Do you remember your first one?
Yes, Ray Burris, and then I got picked off first.
Well, I know it was July 4th. and Frazier, I looked at your third one. You got a hit in Cincinnati, and then you got a caught stealing with Bobby Dernier at the plate. What happened in that situation?
Well, let me explain this real quick.
Want to hear it.
Here we go.
There's 2 outs.
Explanation.
And actually, it was in Chicago.
Okay.
And Don Zimmer gave me the steal sign. I called timeout. I went over to Billy Williams. I go, did he just give me the steal sign? Because I don't get over here very often, and I'm not sure what he just gave me. He said, yes, and get thrown out, because we want Dernier to lead off the next inning. Of course, I'm not all tied up at all this, baseball strategy, wanting him to lead off. Why not just let me steal the base?
All right, well, I looked at the box score.
Well,
I know you had 2 saves in those games and a loss in all 3 games you had a hit.
Well, I want to say this to you, that when I got halfway down, I pulled a Willie Stargell thing and threw up the timeout about half because the guy was waiting with the ball. So I thought if I called time, they can't tag me. So I stopped about 8 feet from second base.
I just need a breather.
I got timeout. Can I have timeout here? So everybody got a nice little chuckle.
Be a story.
Oh, yeah, there was a little chuckle in that
with you, Frazier. I knew it. Great one.
I got that hit, Mark. Unfortunately, the ball took a bad hop and hit Pete Rose in the ear. That's the way I got the hit.
I think I read that did it go through the hole to right field?
Well, no, that was the last hit I got. The first one, the first one was a line drive to right field. First swing I ever took in the big leagues, I got a base hit.
There's Ubaldo Jimenez, who broke an 0 for 20 skid this season with a 2 RBI single in the second inning. Drove in 2 of the Rockies' 3 runs tonight. Here's Chris Iannetta. Charlie Blackmon grounding out in the previous at bat to short. It's the first time in this series he hasn't reached base. He was 4 for 4 yesterday and walked in the second inning.
I had a scout tell me that they went to the SEC college tournament that his college played in. He didn't make an out. Now I'm going to ask Charlie that, because I got the call after I left the locker room today. So watch the guy hit, and he never made an out. Well, that's pretty good. Why did he go in the second round then? Why wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Higher draft pick.
Swing and a miss all season long. Join us for Toyota Talk. Text your comments during the game and see what you and fellow Rockies fans have on their mind about their favorite team. You text Toyota, followed by a space, and then your comment to 720-720. You can follow everyone's comments live during the 6th inning and the entire Toyota postgame show. Standard message and data rates may apply. Chris Iannetta strikes out.
What topic? What do you got?
They can follow up on a discussion. Who does have the advantage in interleague play, the American League or the National League? Do you like that?
Depending on what park you're in. If you're in the American League park, you got to deal with their DH. But the schedule
comes out balanced for the most part, doesn't it? And the American League is leading.
I think obviously the American League, that 9th bat in the order, that's a pretty dangerous bat typically. It's a DH that hits a lot of home runs and drives in a lot of runs. What would be really good, Jeff, if you could take their worst batting average guy and say, okay, you're the DH, and when we come to your park, let's even this up a little bit.
But I'm trying to think. I know there's a few teams out there like Big Papi, obviously Detroit here, that have just strictly DHs. But now it's more of a revolving door kind of a way to give guys days off.
Well, Jeff, that was Leland's point, too. He goes, you take a team like Boston, who now has Adrian Gonzalez at first and has Ortiz as their DH. You've taken Ortiz out of that series.
That's one guy.
I know, but he just said, he goes, I wouldn't mind as much if it were 3 games, but to do it to us in 6 straight games, he's just not a fan, and that's his prerogative. Well, Jimenez with the grounder, throw to first. Now they're calling a foul ball. Now this replay brought to you by the Colorado Lottery. 2 people will become millionaires in the July 1st bonus millionaire raffle drawing. Buy your tickets today. Let's take it back to the second inning. Jimenez with a single to drive in Spilborghs and Blackmon. That made it a 2-0 ball game. Big smile on his face. Helping his own cause as he tries to pick up his first win at Coors Field this season. I can't believe it's June and we're even saying that.
Isn't that amazing?
Yes.
This season has flown by. And, of course, when you start to play really good baseball, which the Rockies have of late, it sure makes things a lot easier to sit and watch the game. And I know it's easier for those guys to come in and play the game.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. This one fouled off.
Yeah, Jeff, I had the opportunity to play for Cleveland after leaving the New York Yankees. And as I was riding in the cab in Tucson just to spring training, I knew we had no chance.
Been on those teams.
and you know, now when you're a ball club with the expectation of what the Rockies had, you started out so wonderfully and then stumbled in May. Now all of a sudden you start to see it coming back around again. I think the wonderful thing for Jim Tracy and his ball club is the fact they're only 4.5 games back. Nobody in the division started to run away with it.
And they have a chance to get back to 500, someplace they haven't been for about 3 weeks now.
Well, Jimenez draws the walk.
Well, I tell you, that's one thing that irritates Jimmy Leland more than anything. Is I have known Jimmy a long time, managed against him when I was a player in '78. He was in Evansville, Indiana. Throw the ball over the plate. I don't care if they hit it out of the state of Colorado, but don't walk people. And if you think back, when Coke got in trouble with the 2-out walks back-to-back, then the base hit, one of those intentional, but then the base hit given up. And Jim Leland and his staff, that's one of his big pet peeves, throw strikes.
He's walked 4 batters in this ball game. Now he'll face Carlos Gonzalez, who had an RBI single in his last at bat in the 2nd inning. That pitch is strike. Well, you know, and the discussion you and Jeff were having, you could teach a guy to hit the ball, catch the ball, throw the ball. How do you teach someone to deal with expectations? That's the hard part.
Well, that's the hard part. I think you have to have success first as a team and as a person. And once you have that, then you expect that every year from you. Once you realize you can do it as a group and you can win, and then there's maybe 1 or 2 parts missing, you feel like you could do that. And once you get those parts, and I think the Rockies felt like they got those parts in the bullpen, the extra men with Johnny Herrera and what he's did with Ty Wigginton, those players. Morales, unfortunately, on the DL right now, Jose Morales. But once you fill those parts, you know you can win, you can go win.
But that's also at the time when expectations, that's fun because that's when you know you've really arrived.
Well, there's 2 types of expectations, Tom and Jeff. Expect to win, expect to lose. You know, and you don't want to be thinking, well, we expect to lose because we're not really good. Well, that's the way I was in '84 going to spring training with Cleveland, not expecting to win.
Well, Georgia brings us to our Geico quote of the day from Tiger great Norm Cash. The only mistake I made in my whole baseball career was hitting .361 that one year, because ever since then, people have expected me to keep doing it.
Yeah, but it was a fun mistake for a year.
That's a good mistake.
Yeah.
Norm Cash, he was the one that took the piano leg up to face Nolan Ryan.
Was he?
Yeah.
Swing and a miss there.
Until the umpire
Strike
said,
2.
until the umpire said, no, you can't do it. Go get a real bat.
And I doubt he had much success with the real bat
didn't.
against Nolan Ryan.
Not many people did. What I never figured out, he always grunted on the curveball and was quiet on his fastball. Didn't matter. I didn't see either one of them.
Here's the 3-2 pitch to Gonzalez. Ball 4. So it's back-to-back walks by Coke. The Rockies now have runners at 1st and 2nd with Chris Nelson coming up. Time now for our AT&T trivia question. There you see Charlie Blackmon, who had a 4-hit game last night. Which Rocky played the fewest games before his first 4-hit game? As always, no looking it up. Just think about it.
Charlie's thinking about it right now. Jeff, did you give him the question?
No, I didn't. I know those AT&T trivia questions. Those are, you got to keep those quiet until the actual question comes out. No one giving any hints. See, yeah. See, Charlie, I can't quite reach out and say,
well, you could.
It doesn't matter, Jeff. He's locked in.
Jeff, you could actually walk over there, but I don't think Tracy would really like it a lot. Jim probably would. Excuse me, Skip. I want to talk to Blackmon in a minute about the trivia question.
Yeah, I like my job. I think I'll just stay here.
There's Chris Nelson, who's 0 for 2 tonight. Flied out and lined out.
Coke already, he's got 66 pitches in this ball game. 33 have been strikes. I think it's one thing looking at what he's done and what's getting after Jim Leland is the fact of the 2-out walks, putting yourself in a position to fail with 2 outs and in the middle of the order.
Last time he gave up back-to-back walks, Ubaldo Jimenez punished him with that single. To your point, George.
A little different when you have Chris Nelson, Todd Helton, and Troy Tulowitzki to deal with 2 outs than it is Ubaldo Jimenez with 2 outs, who got his first hit and RBI of the year.
This one hard to third. Kelly steps on the bag, and that'll end action in the bottom half of the 4th. We head to the 5th. Rockies with a 3-1 lead. Now to answer our trivia question, we'd ask you, after Charlie Blackmon getting 4 hits last night, which Rocky played the fewest games before he had his first 4-hit game?
Now this guy played middle line, tried out to be a middle linebacker in the NFL.
Yeah, it took Derek Gibson 1 game back in 1998. His first major league game. Not too bad.
This game's easy.
More on that. Let's check in with Mark Stout. Mark.
Yeah, guys, let's elaborate a little bit on that list and show you some of the names of some Rockies that did that, going 4 for 4. But when you're talking about having a perfect night like Blackmon did last night, there were only 9 Rockies rookies that did that. One of them was pitcher John Thompson in 1997. Nafi Perez and Juan Pierre each went 5 for 5 in their rookie years. Helton did it twice. Go figure, back in 1998. Tulo's on the list. Kit Pello, Corey Sullivan, Juan Uribe, and Robert Mejia. He was one of the original Rockies. And this year, there's only 2 other rookies that have gone 4 for 4 in a game thus far. Ironically, both in the NL West. Jerry Sands of the Dodgers and Juan Miranda of Arizona. So an exclusive club thus far, guys.
That's a nice club to be a part of. You see Charlie Blackmon. Austin Jackson leading things off for the Tigers here in the 5th, behind 0-2. So that pitch for a ball.
Jackson got a base hit last time he was up, back in the 3rd inning. And I noticed he's a very good fastball hitter and a guy that really works his hands inside thanks to the big part of the field. That time he got a little nitro on the upper half of that strike zone at 96 miles an hour.
5th strikeout of the game for Jimenez.
That is good old-fashioned dead red.
That's where you want to pitch a guy with a high leg kick like Jackson. He was just tardy on the baseball.
That'll bring up Don Kelly, who's playing at 3rd base tonight. Brandon Inge, the Tigers' 3rd baseman's on the DL with mono. And Don Kelly, a utility guy for the Tigers, has played every position in the outfield. He's also started 18 games at 3rd base.
Inge is rehabbing with Toledo.
Yep. I think he started that
Thursday.
Thursday, yeah. So they'll be happy to have him back in the lineup. This one popped up. Tulowitzki drifts over and puts it away for the second out.
You know, you can really tell when guys play together for over a period of time and how they react to certain balls. I mean, Ty Wigginton that time understood, I'm not going to get to this baseball. It's Tulowitzki. He's circling back to his other defensive position. Charlie Blackmon's coming in, and it's that triangle of trying to get there. But when you play with guys every single day, you can really learn their abilities.
And you can see it a lot of times on the balls that Troy will backhand too. Ty will take a couple steps. Well, Troy's got this, but that's that comfort level. It's a lot like when you have a shortstop and a second baseman. The combination, you know where that feed's going to be. Third baseman, shortstop, same thing.
This one, a base hit down the right field line for Bosch. He'll look at second base. He's going to make a go of it. Spielborgs with the throw will not be in time. And it's a double for Brennan Bosch.
Well, looking at this pitch coming in from Ubaldo Jimenez, it's a breaking ball that hung. That was a curveball, not a slider. He's utilized the slider down and in and just out of the reach of Todd Helton, but enough away from Spielborgs. The spin move. And Jeff, I was impressed with Bosch's speed from first to second. He really made a nice cut and turned it up.
And that was where he really got it on the turn, because he knew as soon as he hit that bag, he was going. Huge out.
Ground ball to Nelson, over to Helton. We hit the bottom of the fifth. Rockies leading at 3-1. Colorado Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by your neighborhood Toyota stores. Toyota, moving forward. AT&T, the nation's fastest mobile broadband network. And by Jack in the Box. Right now, get the new bourbon barbecue steak grilled sandwich at participating restaurants. A little kayaking on the river. Rockies with a 3-1 lead.
You didn't know I went out this afternoon? That's me. Right there, the white helmet, right back over. See the guy back over there holding the white helmet?
Kind of holding back, watching everybody else.
There comes Huey. There's Huey in the black helmet.
Huey can do it all. Catch balls behind his back.
Between his legs, kayak and a black helmet.
It's a full day in Colorado for Jeff Houston.
I'm tired.
Todd Helton leading things off here in the bottom of the fifth. He's batting .396 when leading off an inning this season with a .462 on base percentage. The Tigers have actually out-hit the Rockies today 6-3, and the Rockies haven't had a hit since the second inning. But that's when they did all their damage to take the lead 3-1.
Yeah, but when the guy's walking you, you don't need to swing the bat. 5 walks for Phil Coke.
4 of those 5 have come with 2 outs, and then the Rockies made him pay for it one time with the base hit by Jimenez.
There's a ball, 2-1. And the Rockies scored 3 in the second. The Tigers scored their run in the 4th on a Johnny Peralta RBI double. There's one to center field. Jackson gets a glove on it.
Yeah, looking at the flags, just wondering maybe that got knocked down a little bit, or Jackson just really outran the baseball. Nice catch any way you look at it.
He's fast. Time for the Land Rover extraordinary play. And it came back in the 4th inning. A ground ball by Andy Dirks to Helton. Helton steps on first base for 1 out. Fires to Tulowitzki, who throws home to Iannetta to get Cabrera for a double play. Just like they drew it up.
Well, the best play may have been Adrian Johnson ducking out at second. Second base umpire with Tulowitzki wheeled to fire, and he bailed.
He's smart. It's like a base runner going into second base. Troy just had to throw it over the top of him.
Tulowitzki 0 for 2 tonight. Flying out to center. Popped up to short. And this one will be a base hit.
Yeah, I'm gonna read. I know he's already hit, but this is just a number I had Doug look up, Jeff. And as a player and a former hitter, you really enjoy this. First time he faces a pitcher in a ball game, he hits 245. Second time, 367. Third time, and this is that ball was just hit hard into left center, 444. That's
so you're
this
saying
year.
he gets better as he goes along.
As he goes along, and if you're the same guy in there that third time he comes up.
Wigginton fair down the third baseline. Tulowitzki headed for third base. Rich Dower waving him around. Tulowitzki's headed home. Wigginton will hold up at second, and the Rockies have a 4-1 lead.
We've watched it the last couple of days with this club, Jeff, and this offense can get explosive in a hurry. And that's exactly what happened. Ty Wigginton starting to swing the bat with men in scoring position. Wigginton picks up his 23rd RBI on a ball up in the zone, and he shoots it right by the third baseman, Kelly, down into that corner. And Dirks has to play it off of the wall. And when it came back the other way, why not take the gamble? 2-run lead with a guy with good speed rounding third.
And Ty was the only guy coming into this ball game that had faced Phil Koch in his career, 1 for 4 previous to his first at bat tonight.
And here comes Ryan Spilborghs, who's due against the Tigers. He's 1 for 15 lifetime against him. Swings at the first pitch and fouls it down the right field line. Charlie Furbush up in the bullpen for the Tigers. As the lefty gets warm.
At least Wilkes sat down.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine him coming back in after the workload he put in last night.
I got to believe he was just playing catch down there to see how his arm felt.
Each throw, he's probably going, ooh, ow.
Yeah, really doesn't
Working
feel very
out
good.
the kinks.
Yeah. Furbush says, I feel great, though. I could get up and get going. Gene Lamont, managing the big leagues for the Pirates. Worked with Jim Leyland of the White Sox and the Pirates. Been with Jimmy a long, long time. Third base coach now, but still kind of confident in the dugout on what he was wanting to do in a ball game.
Well, Lloyd McClendon managed too for the Pirates.
Rafael Belliard now one of their coaches in the dugout.
A 2-1 pitch to Spilborghs. Got a piece of it. Foul, 2-2. Time for today's CenturyLink high-speed pitch. Phil Koch hitting 94 miles per hour on the radar gun. Ubaldo Jimenez, we talked about his velocity, hit 96. The important thing, though, is location, just like real estate, right? Location, location, location.
Absolutely, no question about it.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. And the count now full. If you walk Spilborghs or he can get on, then you got to deal with Charlie Blackmon, who's 4 for 5 with a walk in this series. This one deep left near the foul pole. Little curve, just foul. Boy, that looked like for a moment it had a chance.
Well, Jeff talked about the wind, and with a right-handed batter up, you're gonna, you start to pull that ball. If you don't get it out, head out very quickly, Jeff, and make sure you're way out in fair territory. This thing has a slim chance of staying in fair territory.
Yeah, it was a changeup, and that's why it hooked, because your barrel just at the last couple feet just really hooks on you.
And he walked him. In honor of Father's Day tomorrow, Rockies Weekly with Jim Tracy sits down with players and finds out what kind of influence their dads had on their career. And the skipper lets us in on the best piece of advice his dad ever gave him and what advice he has passed down to his sons. It's all on Rockies Weekly with Jim Tracy tomorrow after the ball game. Wigginton at second, Spilborghs at first. Here's Charlie Blackmon.
Got to shade him in center field to left center. The infield pinching up the middle for the double play ball.
Blackmon 7 for 15 with runners in scoring position.
Yeah, he just doesn't flinch either. I mean, you watch him at the plate, and guys with nasty sliders, he just seems to stay right on the pitch. It doesn't seem to intimidate him at all, and these are guys he has not seen.
He's not lunging at all. He's not firing hard onto that right front foot.
Well, he's only hit .545 against left-handers. .357 versus right-handers.
Runners moving. Here's a fly ball to center field. Jackson has it. Everybody has to get back. There's 2 away.
Charlie's mad at himself for not getting that ball on the ground.
Yeah, I mean, both guys were in the move, and then, everybody's covering bags. He got a tough pitch, though, away from him. He just tried to sweep it, but he swept under the ball instead on top of the baseball. You see this on the robo. Here goes your runners. They're off, and then Charlie flips this thing into center field. Jackson's able to get underneath the baseball, but watch where this pitch down and away from him. And when he got out that far front, Jeff, I think it was too hard for him to try to roll over the top of the baseball.
But this is a great teaching moment for Jim Tracy. To put his arm around him, say, okay, I know you didn't do it. The intent was there to try to get it down onto the ground.
Well, and I think the other thing Jim's talking to him about, you know what, there's one out. You're the hottest hitter I have on my team right now. I mean, you're a young kid, but you're hot. And you're swinging the bat great. So I put these guys in motion, kind of the ultimate surprise, because you got a guy on the mound that's not checking either runner. If we get lucky and end up second and third, your base hit, we're expanding the score even more. So make sure you get a good pitch to hit when you see those guys get in motion like that next time, instead of that nasty pitch down and away from you. Get something you could do some damage with. Be a little more selective.
Well, the count now 1-2 to Iannetta.
But you've seen it 1,000 times, Jeff, for those guys that are hot. It's just like baseball gods are looking on them, and they flip the bat and it just barely gets over shortstop, but it's a base hit. They get a broken bat. Yeah, broken bat, and it looks, tomorrow's paper, although they all look like line drives, but
off the pitcher's leg.
All kinds of things happen. Hit the bag, bounce straight in the air.
It's the 1-2 pitch from Koch. And fouled back. Iannetta walked and scored in the second, struck out in the fourth.
Hey, the Colorado Rockies Charities Fund is accepting nominations through June 24th for the 2011 Hallelujah Awards. So please call 303-312-2337 for more information.
The count even to Iannetta. He's a career .368 hitter against the Tigers, 7 for 19.
Heads up.
Pops this one back. Look at me, Huey.
Look, we got two of us.
No, two of us.
Oh.
Huey, did you see that?
I saw it, guys.
We
how we
didn't
had this all
neither one of
covered?
us had a glove. We both
didn't need
got up
leather.
and we got after it.
Yeah, we were ready to catch
That's right.
it.
Hey, you know what? It's a teaching thing.
Thank you.
It's a learning lesson for you.
So I've actually got to stand up.
No, see, I got it. It's right
Oh,
here.
you did not.
See, I caught it. It's right
You
here in my
did
hand.
not.
What do you mean? I caught it. It's right here. Tom, did we not catch it?
We got it.
Okay.
If nothing else, we gave it 100%.
We did kick the chairs out of the way.
But we were up.
I was just watching.
Technically, I was up first, but we were both up.
Watching the bat of Iannetta go out of his hand.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. That's 3-2. Coke's in danger, loading the bases.
And Danger making an exit out of the ball game too.
I'm just looking at some of the Tigers fielders, Miguel Cabrera, Ryan Rayburn. They're just scratching their head. There's come on. Every hitter, it seems like, is 3-2 or he's falling behind and put you on your heels defensively.
The 3-2 pitch. And he walked it. So the bases are loaded now for the Rockies. Ubaldo Jimenez coming to the plate. He singled to drive in a pair of runs in the second and walked in the fourth.
A whole lot of pitches going on right now for Mr. Coke, and that's the problem. A lot of those jumped up when he had all the walks back in the second inning. Now here in the fifth inning, he's run himself into the same identical trap he was in the second inning when he had the 2 out walks and then the base hit by Ubaldo.
Coke has walked 7 batters in this ball game. 2 in this inning. Can Jimenez help out his cause once again?
Well, he's going to hack at it, give it a shot, but it is his first at bat in the second inning. He came up huge. He got a fastball up in the zone and just lined it over shortstop. That drove in 2 runs as Jackson made a play on the baseball. Spielborgs and Blackman scored, and then he had first and third.
That runs his career RBI total to 8. The 0-1 pitch. Strike 2. So to your point earlier, George, Coke listening to Jim Leyland, just put the ball over the plate.
Well, try to. I mean, now you got 4 shots to get a ball, though. What's the one pitch you think you can get him with? Typically in this situation, it doesn't matter what league you're from, they see a trick pitch to get him out of the inning. There's a slider. Didn't work very well. Backed up on him at 76 miles an hour. But you go tricky. You don't go fastball. You don't throw anything straight here on that count because you got 4 shots to get him.
Well, that's how Ubaldo struck out Phil Coke back in the 4th inning with a couple runners on. Breaking pitch down into the dirt.
The 1-2 pitch. And he misses, evens the count at 2-2. Bases loaded, 2 outs, the count even. The pitch from Coke. And he got him looking. But the Rockies still pick up a run in the inning, and they lead it by a score of 4-1.
Town way before it was even Motown. Since 1894, as we look at the evolution of the Tigers logo, 4 world championships, and next Sunday a big day at Comerica Park. Sparky Anderson passed away on November the 4th. His number 11 will be retired. And guys, that's with the Arizona Diamondbacks in town, so you know who's going to be there, Tom. Kirk Gibson and Alan Trammell.
Absolutely, and I was talking to Tom Brookins, the first base coach, who was a member of the 1984 World Championship team under Sparky Anderson. He goes, I'm certain the Tigers set it up so that Gibson and Trammell could be there. The Tigers wearing that patch on their arm, and as you said, on June 26th against the Diamondbacks, they'll retire Sparky Anderson's number 11. 17 seasons as the manager of the Tigers. Jim Leland is the manager they've had the longest since Sparky Anderson retired in 1995. This is his 6th season. They've had a handful of guys that have gone 1, 2, or 3 years since that time.
I consider Jim Leland a baseball man, obviously. That's what Sparky Anderson was. He was a baseball man, and I've always admired Sparky. I mean, he was very friendly to the opposition, would carry on conversations with you, loved to talk about the game of baseball. It was fun, and the only probably sad part for me is, why'd you wait so long until he passed away to retire his number? I wish he would have done it when he was still alive, where he could have been there to accept that award and be around those wonderful people.
Victor Martinez leading things off for the Tigers here in the top of the 6th.
Their organization lost some great people, and probably my favorite of all time, Ernie Harwell.
Yeah. When I asked Brookins before the game, I said, what made Sparky Anderson such a good manager? And he said, you know, when he walked into the room, you knew he was the boss. He wasn't, you know, he wasn't a rah-rah guy or a big speech guy, but he was the boss. And he goes, we were a young team in '84, and he taught us a lot. And he'd come over from the Big Red Machine and winning a World Series with the Cincinnati Reds. We were all kind of like, man, this is Sparky Anderson.
Well, there's a certain amount of respect people carry in the game, much like Don Baylor, of all the accomplishments that Donnie has had as a player and becoming a manager. Dusty Baker, same way. Tony La Russa, because of the number of wins that he has. Joe Torre in our booth the other day here, now working for the commissioner's office.
There's one towards right center, and that'll be a base hit for Martinez, his 2nd hit of the ball game.
I remember talking to Alan Trammell a couple weeks back. We see this ball by Victor Martinez go into center field, kind of a hanging breaking pitch. But what he was saying was they didn't expect to lose when they went to the ballpark.
Well, that's what I talked about a minute ago, Jeff.
Yeah.
You know, as a team, you expect to win or you expect to lose based upon your talent and what you believe in, but you got to experience as a group the winning part to expect it again.
Dirks lines one to right field. It is not caught by Spilborghs. Martinez quickly into second base. He's safe. So it's back-to-back singles for the Tigers. And that'll bring up Johnny Peralta, who had an RBI double in his last at bat.
I tell you, Spilborghs, I know you really believe in your hands. Lucky here, though. He came in to try to catch this thing in the air, but it hit so hard with so much top spin. He tried to sell it when he came up with the baseball on there. Ultimo, you'll see it when he comes in to get the baseball, then make the throw, as he made that throw at a second, thinking he had a shot at Martinez. Well, this is never good when you see the trainer come out or waved out by the catcher. Well, let's keep a close eye on what he's looking at.
Well, Baldo threw a pitch a couple of hitters ago. Chris Iannetta went out there to talk to him for a second to see if maybe he needed to catch his breath, but I just saw Baldo point to his right calf.
Well, that's not going to be good. Jim Tracy, you just don't mess with this. He'll go down to the bullpen immediately, and more than likely Rex Brothers is the guy starting to throw down there, so he'll get all the time he needs here on the mound to get ready in preparation for this. And let's watch Baldo walk off. That could have been anything from running the bases when he swung the bat to throwing a pitch.
Well, Huey, here's the pitch you were talking about when Iannetta went out to talk to Ubaldo.
Let's watch the actions of Ubaldo, not of the pitch. Let's see what he does here.
I wonder if it's just one of those cramps in his right calf.
Done a nice job by Ionetta to paying attention to that. He knew immediately something was going on with his pitcher.
And it's all about knowing the look of the eye. I think that's the key. When you look at him and can see in the eye exactly what's going on, that's when it really makes you know everything. Well, it's going to be Lindstrom's the guy coming in. Brothers is still going to warm up down on the bullpen. Lindstrom's going to come in and take over for Ubaldo Jimenez. He has Peralta and then Rayburn to face.
And Lindstrom will get as much time as he needs to get loose. We're going to take a break here from Coors Field. The Tigers with runners at first and second. Nobody out in the sixth. Rockies lead it 4-1. For your child's college or just talking about it, starting your child's college Invest savings account when they're young helps you to prepare financially for when that day arrives. It only takes 10 minutes to get started at collegeinvest.org.
A couple of guys enjoying the ballpark. Father's Day tomorrow. Happy Father's Day to everybody. I won't be here. I'm heading home to spend Father's Day with my family in Oklahoma. But all of you viewers out there that are dads, happy Father's Day to all of you. Hope you enjoy the day at the yard.
Should be a beautiful day and a great ball game. Justin Verlander squaring off against Aaron Cook in the final game of this 3-game series. You see Matt Lindstrom on the hill making his final warm-up pitches as he comes in for Ubaldo Jimenez. He's allowed runs in just 5 of his 31 appearances. If you just joined us, Ubaldo Jimenez leaving the game just a few minutes ago with an injury. We'll get more to you on that when we know more.
Last 5 outings for Lindstrom have been a struggle. 4 1/3 innings, 12 hits, 6 runs. And for me, Jeff, that's hard for me to believe with the type of stuff that he has.
It was getting beat with location. That fastball was up. The slider was a little flat. But when you throw 94 to 96, the high leg kick still has to be down in the zone.
So you've got Victor Martinez at second, Andy Dirks at first, nobody out. And here's Johnny Peralta. Peralta has 3 hits in this series, 2 of them extra base hits. He doubled in the 4th inning of this ball game and hit a grand slam in the 6th inning of last night's ball game. It's the 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. George, it's one thing to come out of the bullpen. It's another to come in with runners on. You've got to start from the stretch.
Well, all of that is part of it coming out of the bullpen. The hardest part is coming in for an injured pitcher. You know, you're down warming up. You're sitting there. You're chilling. You got your feet up. You're watching the game. And all of a sudden, the bullpen phone rings, says, hey, get inside. Ubaldo's hurt. And you got to kick in that adrenaline and get it going and start firing to get loose. I always liked warming up out in the bullpen, obviously, and coming in through that gate and jogging into the arena.
And right back up the middle, off the glove of Lindstrom. Everybody's going to be safe, and the Tigers have the bases loaded.
It was just a weird feeling coming directly out of there, and then everybody watches you warm up, and you think, man, I'm loose, I feel good, I feel great. But sometimes you're not right on top of it. High fastball hit right off of the glove. The hesitation by Lindstrom prevented him, because you got to try to find the baseball right about there to get to the baseball and be able to make a play.
Well, Ryan Rayburn is up. The Tigers have 3 straight singles to start the inning, and Maglio Ordonez is on the on-deck circle. We'll see if he comes in to pinch hit for Phil Koch. Somebody likes interleague play, the only way they ever get to see some of the AL teams.
The Tigers, as a ball club, have hit over 300 with the bases loaded. Rayburn is 3 for 10 with the bases loaded.
I would not throw him a fastball as hard as he's diving onto that front leg. There's no way he can see the slider.
And you know, this is where a catcher, and obviously filmed the preparation by Bob Apodaca, but still read the hitter in the box. You know, I always watched hitters as a guy coming out of the bullpen or I'd sit in the dugout for the first time through the lineup to watch hitters and their reactions. See if they bail with the front side. See if they're cheating on the fastball. That's a hanging slider, but it wasn't a healthy cut.
No, but on his setup, George, he's got so much weight on that front leg. You like to have a 60-40 split where it's back on the back leg so you can have something to load to. Well, his is just the opposite. And when your foot is that far, or your weight's on your front foot that much, you can't get back as much, and then you just drift right back to that left leg.
He tries to shift that weight back, but it stays pretty evenly distributed.
Here's one to right center field. This one will get past Spilborghs. 1 run scores. Another comes in. This one's going to clear the bases. Throw to the plate. They got him. Rayburn will end up at second base. Victor Martinez and Andy Dirt score. Johnny Peralta out at the plate.
Well, and this ball's hit hard into right center field, but everything has to work here. The throw by Spilborghs has to be on the money. The throw from Tulowitzki, obviously right on the money again. 3 plays in this series at home plate. The Rockies have won all 3 battles. Nice job by Annetta. See how he absorbed a little bit of the contact and rolled away from it. Great combination of throws there. Spilborghs to Tulowitzki, Tulowitzki to the plate. And Tulo's like, timeout. I want a conversation with Mr. Lindstrom on the hill. This is all part of Tulowitzki's leadership.
And how about that ball in right center field? Normally the second baseman is the lead guy on the double cut. The shortstop would trail, but with Troy's strong arm, they flipped it.
Maglio Ordonez hitting for Phil Koch. Swing and a miss there on a 96-mile-an-hour fastball.
You know, Jeff, I go back to the series in Los Angeles where EY took the throw in a similar situation like that, and he really overthrew the home plate area, and the runner was safe. And there was conversation at that time with Rich Dower, and I know fundamentally what you're talking about. But I think there has been some of an adjustment now because they wanted Tulowitzki, the strongest arm of the middle infield, to catch that baseball to have the longest throw.
And why not?
You know, that's why I think Tulo stepped out in front of Nelson, because they want his arm strength making the throw from 150 feet.
Struck him out.
Well, good hard slider, and as you get older, I think, Jeff, I don't know if you're guilty of it at all, but you start to cheat for the fastball all the time. And if you have the ability to throw that hard slider down and away, you're going to have success. That's a nasty pitch by Lindstrom.
Here's Austin Jackson. 1 for 3 tonight. Has a single and has struck out twice.
Right guy at the plate now with runners in scoring position at 2 out. As far as the Rockies are concerned, he hits 156 in this situation.
I see Jim Leland looking on as his Tigers have tightened up this ball game. 4 of the 5 batters for the Tigers in this inning have a hit. Martinez singled, Dirk singled, Peralta singled, Rayburn doubled, and then Ordonez struck out.
How would you like to take a hack at that? 97 miles an hour heat on the knees and in. Wow. Maybe he should have thrown a couple of extra when he came in. That was nasty.
Did Georgie go back to the fastball?
Well, you know, to me, he's a better fastball hitter than he is a breaking ball hitter, Jeff. If he could get that nasty slider that he threw to Ordonez, I had to go to it right here to see if he could induce the swing and miss.
The 1-2 pitch from Lindstrom. Struck him out.
That hard slider, I don't think he wanted anything to do with it at all. The Rockies still hold the lead 4-3 after 5.5.
But not before the Tigers pushed 2 across and made this a 4-3 ball game. Carlos Gonzalez will lead things off, and earlier he talked about former Rocky Andres Galarraga, who turns 50 today.
It was the first time me and Maglio, we were going to play in the same stadium, and we both won the other two batting titles for Venezuela. And then I hear that his birthday was today, Andres Galarraga's birthday. And I just want to wish him happy birthday, and you know, he's a great person. He always going to be one of the players that I always follow, and I always wanted to be like him. And this is a great opportunity for me to wear the Rockies uniform, the same uniform that he wears when he won the batting title. And you know, he's a special person, special player, and I wish him happy birthday.
Well, the Big Cat played 5 seasons with the Rockies. He was a 5-time All-Star with a couple of Gold Gloves. Won the batting title back in 1993. Maglio Ordonez won it in 2007. And, of course, Carlos Gonzalez won it last year. Carlos Gonzalez says he grew up about 3 hours away from where Maglio Ordonez grew up. And I said, did you follow Maglio's career? And he goes, certainly. He goes, but a Venezuelan player that I really liked watching, Bobby Abreu.
Pretty good guy to watch.
Well, Charlie Furbush, the new pitcher now for the Tigers.
Well, Jim Leyland always used to say, play through 5 or 6 innings at Coors Field, and then I'll start to manage the game. And that is as far as pinch hitters, working his bullpen, because he was so frustrated by results in the first 4 or 5 innings. And as many as Koch walked 7, he struck out 2. He gave up 5 hits. There's 12 base runners, and the Rockies only mustered 4 runs out of that. That's the point making. He's kept his club right in the middle of it. Now Furbush will have to do the same for his Tigers.
Yeah, Furbush is a guy that just made his major league debut last month, the end of last month, May 23rd. That pitch a ball, count 2-1. Count now 3-1 to Gonzalez. Gonzalez 1 for 1 with a walk. Drove in a run back in the 2nd inning. The 3-1 pitch. He catches it for a strike. Cargo's batting .211 against left-handers, and that's after starting the season 1 for 21. He caught him with a strike.
I want to see this one on the 4th strike zone.
Yeah.
Well, that's the old wraparound, Jeff. It's a wraparound slider. Throws it way at him, and it just wraps to the inside corner. And I mean, it's not a strike on the 4th strike zone. But Victor, I have to admit, Victor Martinez did a pretty nice job catching this, but you can see Gonzalez thinks the ball's going to hit him.
Anytime you see the catcher reach back that far across his body, it's usually not called a strike.
Well, counts as a strike. It's an out with 1 away. Here's Chris Nelson, who's 0 for 3 tonight. Nelson has only struck out 6 times in 48 at bats.
You got a pretty good opportunity to have success if you're putting the ball to play.
There's one to deep left field. This one is out of here, and Chris Nelson has homered again. 2nd time in this series, 2nd time in his career.
Well, you start talking about guys making their major league debut, you start to think some of the younger players like Chris Nelson may have crossed paths. The problem is their AAA team is in the International League, so they haven't crossed paths, and he just took advantage of a ball and drove it into the seats. I mean, you talk about solidifying himself. It's pretty good right here.
Time for the Coors Light Cold Hard Blast. Chris Nelson with a home run. And he did the same thing in yesterday's ball game. Yesterday's was a 3-run shot in the 2nd inning. He's only got 2 hits in this series, but both of them have been long balls. And the Rockies have a 5-3 lead with Todd Helton at the plate.
Yeah, you give up a couple to get a game tied, and then get close to being tied 4-3, and then just take one right back away from him with that big home run.
With Chris Nelson homering the last 2 days in the 2-hole, it's only the 3rd and 4th home run the Rockies have gotten out of that spot this season. The count 3-1 to Helton. And they walk him. He walks for the 2nd time tonight. Time now for the Coors Light freeze game, and we take you back to the 6th inning. After the double by Ryan Rayburn, the throw home to nail Johnny Peralta. At that time, held on to the Rockies' 4-3 lead. Brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. So here's Troy Tulowitzki, 1 out, 1 on. That one a strike. And talking about last night's game where the Rockies got up big early, Jim Leyland goes, you know what, I've seen that movie before. And he goes, but you can't be afraid to lose ball games in this league. You know, the game got away from him, and he goes, you're going to lose sometimes.
Well, I think that's where a lot of people, and again, you know, we asked Joe Torre the question the other day, how did you wear tough losses? And, you know, Joe learned later in his career that he can't change the loss that happened, and he doesn't need to worry about tomorrow's game till the sun comes up, because you're not playing a doubleheader after midnight. Have a nice meal and go to bed. And I think Jim Leyland's probably in that same category. It's a baseball game. Who wants to win 162 of them? But it's over. You're going to lose some games.
Yeah.
And there's some games you're just going to get kicked.
Well, he was also praising Wilk last night after the ball game for his 4 innings that he was able to pitch, even though he gave up 4 runs, 6 hits. But it really saved his bullpen.
It's an unusual setup for him in his bullpen. 4 left-handers. You don't see that often. And 3 right-handers.
Well, Jim Leyland, yeah, talking about this park, Huey, to your point, says, you know, you can't, we just couldn't come in here and kill our bullpen. You know, when we're done here, we still got to go to Los Angeles. There's more games to play. There goes the runner. Helton to second base. They got him. That'll be Helton's first steal attempt of the season.
I guess they're trying to surprise here, because I'm going to look and see what happens with Tulowitzki. Ball's way away from him. It was a straight steal a little bit. And he's looking back now, back at home plate, as if, did you take a swing at the baseball, or did I miss a sign?
So now the count 2-2 to Tulowitzki, 2 outs, nobody on.
Last stolen base for Todd Helton was in 2006. It was a spirited idea.
You're just trying to fill all the columns.
That's right.
Yeah.
Come on.
Even Todd's laughing at this point. It's Giambi giving him a pat on the head.
Giambi's like, dude, I haven't had one since like 99. Yeah, maybe he's thinking hit and run was on. Watch his head kind of glance back, and he's like, oh, no, he didn't hit it.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. I like the slide, though. That was a good slide.
He's got a grin about it. The 3-2 pitch. This one popped up over towards the dugout. And this one will be out of play. Wells Fargo customers, get your 2-for-1 Rockies tickets today by going to wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Not a customer? See a Wells Fargo banker today for details. Wells Fargo Bank, member FDIC. If we could just get a foul ball to Huey's side in the camera well like that. He's got the glove ready. He's ready to make it happen.
Did you wear your sliders in case you got to dive?
How about the LK line jersey? How about that?
That was an old jersey. Yeah, no, I'm still okay. I got a little bit longer rope tonight.
Good. Tulowitzki strikes out. We head to the top of the 7th inning. A solo home run by Chris Nelson makes it a 5-3 game. On Root Sports is brought to you by College Invest. Are you saving for college or just talking about it? The Colorado Lottery. Don't forget to play. King Soopers. More value for the way you live. And by the Courtyard by Marriott on the 16th Street Mall. Ask about our hometown sports package. Beautiful sunset in Colorado. The Rockies with a 5-3 lead as we start action in the top half of the 7th inning. Matt Reynolds has come into the ball game for Colorado, and he has been tough. In his 31 appearances this season, has allowed more than one hit just twice.
Yeah, he's only had like 1 or 2 hiccups the entire year. I mean, he's been outstanding. The opponent average is 200 against him. So, I mean, what he's done, 208. I mean, what he's done against the opposition is dominate. Just 15 hits given up, 25 strikeouts. Split finger works nicely against right-handed bats. He'll get one to start off here with Don Kelly.
And fouled down the right field line. Helton giving chase, and this one will make it a couple rows back. After Kelly, Brennan Bosch and Miguel Cabrera due up for the Tigers.
Mr. Worth is pinch hitting right now.
Oh.
So they failed to announce downstairs. So we're a little late getting the information there, Tom.
So the count 0-1 to Worth. This one to right center field, and this one is going to drop for a base hit. So he's got himself a pinch hit single. That'll bring up Brennan Bosch, who's 1 for 3, doubled back in the 5th inning. That one a strike. Hey, Rockies fans, we want you to check out the new Root Sports website. RockyMountain.rootsports.com is your home for the latest Rockies stories and scores during the season. Plus, sign up for our e-blast to keep you connected to your favorite team all season long by clicking on the envelope icon of our homepage. Fouled off. 0-2 the count now to Bosch.
Nice to get a double play off the bat of Bosch, so you don't have to worry about facing Cabrera with anybody on.
Bosch on the season has hit into 5 double plays, so it's not something he's immune to.
Al Albuquerque up in the bullpen for the Tigers.
Former Rocky, some great stories. So we'll talk if he gets in this ball game. It appears he's going to. We'll have a few things to tell you about Mr. Albuquerque.
Any more letters, it'd be a full circle around his name.
What a block. That bounced about 2 feet out in front of home plate.
That's one of the things Iannetta does so well.
Well, and when it's out that far too, Tom, you're just not quite sure where it's going to go after it hits.
Fans look and see 4 pass balls. 3 of those 4 pass balls have been when he's with a runner at second and been crossed up by a runner out at second using different sets of signs, and pitchers have crossed him up. He's been pretty special. That ball's just about 6 feet out in front of home plate. Luckily took a high hop and he was able to bury it against his stomach.
It's the 2-2 pitch. That one fouled off. We do have an update on Ubaldo Jimenez, who left the ball game. The report is he has a right calf cramp.
Well, the worst part Jimmy was worried about, Jim Tracy, is the fact that that cramp turns into a strain, turning into a pull, and then you lose him for a while. You're better off just getting him out of the ball game.
The 2-2 pitch. Going right to Helton. Steps on first for 1 out. Throw to second. They got him for the double play.
You ordered it, Huey. You got it. The doctor ordered the double play, and they got it.
Well, it was almost like the ball Todd had earlier in this ball game where he stepped on first. The difference this time, there was no runner at third. He didn't have to check him. Step on the bag with your left foot, make the strong throw to second. Easy tag out. 2 down.
Yeah, Jim Leland saw a lot of that when Todd Helton was here, and he was managing this ball club at Coors Field. Great glove, great arm. That allows him to do what he does.
Helps when you're left-handed there, too.
That time it did, because he had to throw around the runner to get it to Troy.
The 1-0 pitch to Cabrera. That one's a strike. Cabrera hitting .329 in the 7th inning or later. Cabrera's 4 for 7 in the series. That one fouled back. So the count now full on Cabrera with 2 outs and nobody on here in the top of the 7th. Rockies with a 5-3 lead. And he walked him. Time for the XL Energy High Efficiency Inning, brought to you by XL Energy. Learn about energy efficiency and how to save energy and money in your home by visiting responsiblebynature.com. The first inning, an efficient one for Ubaldo Jimenez, who struck out Jackson. Got Don Kelly to pop up and Brennan Bosch to ground out. Jimenez went 5 innings before he gave up back-to-back singles in the 6th, and then left with a calf cramp. And now Matt Reynolds will leave the ball game as Jim Tracy goes to the bullpen to call in Matt Belisle. 5-3 when we return. by Ecotech Institute in Denver, where you can make the world your workplace. The Rockies took a 3-0 lead in the second, thanks in part to an Ubaldo Jimenez 2 RBI single. Carlos Gonzalez also had an RBI single in that inning. Ty Wigginton had an RBI double in the 5th. And Chris Nelson had a solo home run in the 6th. That's been the scoring for the Rockies, who have a 2-run lead. And now Matt Belisle in the ball game to face Victor Martinez.
Well, Blyle's inherited 15 base runners this year. Only four have scored with a runner at first and 2 outs. And this is what you like to work through if you're Matt Belisle. The advantage should be, hopefully, and it will be, a high fly ball out to Mr. Gonzalez.
That'll be the final out of the inning. We head to the bottom of the 7th. Rockies up by 2. This look back in the second inning. Ubaldo Jimenez with a bases loaded single drove in Spilborghs and Blackman to make it a 2-0 ball game. Later in the inning, Carlos Gonzalez with an RBI single scored Iannetta to make it a 3-0 ball game. In the 5th inning, Ty Wigginton with an RBI double that made it a 4-1 ball game. And then Chris Nelson with a solo home run in the 6th made it a 5-3 ball game. And that's where we stand as we go to action in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Some changes for the Tigers as we start. Worth, who came in to pinch hit for Don Kelly, will stay in at third base. And the new pitcher is a guy that used to be in the Rockies organization, Al Albuquerque.
Well, an interesting story with Albuquerque a year ago was having so much difficulty at Tulsa with massive headaches, couldn't get out of bed. They did a number of tests, couldn't find out what it was, and to come to find out, a lot of cavities is what he had. He had some difficulty with the jaw. He had some surgery done on his mouth. It's fixed. He went to the Dominican Winter Ball and just pitched brilliantly there. And the Rockies wanted to bring him back and have him here in this organization. He wanted a big league deal, and Detroit gave him one. Came over from the Chicago Cubs in a trade to the Rockies and then signed as a free agent. He'll run it up to 96, 97 miles an hour, a nasty slider, but he's been very dominant in the American League. See if he stays that way here. The thing about last night in the 3rd innings pitched, 3 hits. He struck out 16. He's gone 3-0.
He's behind 2-0 to Wigginton. Wigginton, Spilborghs, and Blackman due up for the Rockies here in the bottom half of the 7th. That one is strike. This replay brought to you by the Colorado Lottery. 2 people will become millionaires in the July 1st bonus millionaire raffle drawing. Buy your tickets today. Wigginton with the RBI double in the 5th. It drove in Troy Tulowitzki. Swing and a miss there for strike 2. And now Albuquerque too, and watching him pitch earlier in this week against Cleveland, interesting in the way he throws the slider, because he takes the thumb off it as he delivers the pitch.
Yeah, it's a little different. I mean, his grip is a lot different. You can see how he cups it back in his glove, but he hides it really well when he throws that hard sinker slider. Now, that was a backup slider, meaning most sliders will break away from the right-handers. This time it broke into the right-hander. This is what Tom's talking about. See the thumb off of the baseball behind, not pressure being made there. Now you can see that it just dives in. Should have been diving down and away on a true slider.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. This one grounded to short. Peralta with a throw, and there's one away. So that'll bring up Ryan Spilborns.
Another look at that slider we're talking about coming out. See, look right there on the hand. You can see it coming through. Look at the thumb as it comes up out of the hand. Watch the thumb come off of the baseball, and it'll happen as soon as he comes through the pitch.
There's no doubt about Albuquerque's arm at 96 miles an hour. A guy with the Cubs before he came over to the Rockies.
Swing and a miss there. 97 on the radar gun.
Is that any good?
It's supposed to be. It'll get you a ticket on the 25.
A ticket, 3 squares, and a bed. I mean, it's not a bad thing. Running 96 to 100. Oh, that's filthy. That is nasty. At 87 miles an hour. As the bottom fall out of this slider, it gets on top of it so much. When hitters start to commit that swing, difficult to lay off.
And it just looks like a fastball coming out of the end because it's the same arm action.
They struck him out for the second out of the inning. Let's check in with Mark Stout. Mark.
All right, Tom. George was noting earlier that Jim Leyland's a baseball guy, and it's always interesting to note that he didn't play in the major leagues. In fact, he spent six seasons as the Tigers catcher in the minor leagues, and he is one of 8 major league managers that have no experience. You can see them now. There's 4 in each league. But it's always interesting because you said Leyland, you know, he's a baseball guy. You see the names. These guys have all been successful. So let's go back upstairs.
Well, they have all been very successful. And Jimmy Leyland managed an A-ball and then worked his way up to AAA, where he was in Evansville for a while. Manny Acta worked for a long time along with Freddie Gonzalez in the Atlanta Brave organization. And Terry Collins, kind of the same deal. He's always been in player development. You want to do the wave, Tom? Here it comes. Get
it's
ready.
coming around. You ready?
Get ready. You ready?
Here we go.
Ready? You ready? Wait. All right. Wait. Now. Do it. Okay, there you go. No sound. Just do the hands.
Oh no! If I'm going to go, I fully commit. Charlie Blackmon at the
Jeff,
plate.
he didn't do the wave.
2-0 the count to him.
I'll let the fans do it.
Well, there's a lot of them at Coors Field tonight. This is great to see. Oh, he smoked it.
Fly ball to deep center field. Jackson drifting back towards the warning track and makes the catch. So it's a 1-2-3 inning for Albuquerque. We head to the top of the 8th. Rockies lead at 5-3. Welcome back to Coors Field. We're set for the top of the 8th. Rockies with a 5-3 lead. All season long, join us for Toyota Talk. Text your comments during the game and see what you and fellow Rockies fans have on their mind about their favorite team. Text Toyota followed by a space and then your comment to 720-720. You can follow everyone's comments live during the entire Toyota postgame show. Standard message and data rates may apply. Dirks, Peralta, and Rayburn due up for the Tigers here in the 8th inning, and they'll face Rafael Betancourt.
Well, the right-hander obviously is not going to walk people. 27 hits in 27 innings, 27 strikeouts. The first batter efficiency for me, Jeff, is a major thing working out of the bullpen, particularly when you're looking at a 2-run ball game, and he does a good job of it at 76%.
Well, and that's why he's been the 8th inning guy for so long in his career, because of just that number you were talking about.
Fly ball to center field. Gonzalez has it, and there's one away. Windshield damage? Call Safelite Auto Glass at 303-287-5000 or go to safelite.com. With one out, here's Johnny Peralta. 2 for 3 today. Doubled and drove in a run in the 4th, singled in the 6th. He and Rayburn can provide some power at the bottom of that lineup for the Tigers. They went back-to-back in their final game against Cleveland on Thursday afternoon.
I don't have the media guide with me down here, but Peralta and Betancourt, former teammates with Cleveland?
Yes.
I always liked that when I played behind a guy, because I knew what he threw, how he liked to attack hitters. But there's not much secret with Rafael Betancourt. He's going to throw your fastball away and then the sliders.
Some may cut away a little bit, but that's exactly what it's going to be. Peralta was a Cleveland Indian from 03 all the way to last year. Halfway through the year, went to Cleveland.
Popped up to shallow center. Gonzalez coming on hard, and he makes a sliding catch. Great defensive play by Gonzalez.
It's all about reading the swing and being able to get a break on the baseball, and then with his speed and athleticism, he just outruns it. Gets there to make that catch, a sliding catch, and again, he's catching it upright. But he knows, too, that going down this way is going to prevent and stop maybe even a few more leg injuries, and that's exactly what he does.
Notice how he also held the ball above the ground so that ball didn't have a chance to jar out of there. Pick his hand up and his shoulder.
You know, Jeff, every night I watch him play the game. It's been a great year and a half or even farther. What the heck was Arizona and Oakland thinking about?
Good question. Well,
I mean, I don't care. You had to see something you wouldn't get rid of him, right? I'm glad they did. I'm glad they did. It's amazing.
They just didn't have the patience,
I guess,
that the Rockies or Jim Tracy had.
There's the 0-1 pitch to Ryan Rayburn. $48,555 fans here at Coors Field tonight. Sellout. The 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. And the Rockies faithful making some noise here. He struck him out. A 1-2-3 inning for Rafael Betancourt. We head to the bottom of the 8th. The Rockies with a 5-3 lead. Well, Rockies fans excited. Their team's got a 5-3 lead as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning. Who wants tacos? Fans, if you'd like to receive text message alerts when the Rockies score 7 or more runs for the Rockies Tacos special, text the keyword taco to 720-720. Feed your Rockies fever only at Taco Bell. Iannetta, the pitcher spot, and Gonzalez due up for the Rockies here in the bottom half of the 8th. Currently, Seth Smith is on the on-deck circle. Albuquerque still in the game on the hill for the Tigers.
Yeah, and you pretty much know what to expect here, too. I mean, it's a fastball, hard slider, but they're both filthy. Fastball's been up to 96 miles an hour. The slider has been up to 87 miles an hour.
Fastball 95 for a strike. Almost his entire name fits on the scoreboard. Not, they're like a letter away.
I'd like to buy a vowel, please.
Just squeeze that E in there. Yeah.
Can I have an E?
Vanna.
Swing and a miss for strike 2.
That's kind of armpit to armpit, huh? You know, hey, call me whatever you want, but I got nasty stuff.
Foul ball into the seats.
Yeah.
That was a line drive shot. Oh, 2 the count to Iannetta. That one misses. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Ball 2. We talked about Albuquerque's name, but he's no William Van Landingham, which is the longest surname. Can't fit that on the scoreboard either. The 2-2 pitch in the dirt, 3-2. Albuquerque looked a little frustrated after that pitch.
Well, they wanted the out pitch right there. I think that was the key to it. and then he doesn't get there. So now you go into the hitters counts at 3-2. It's Seth Smith, a left-handed bat, waits in the on-deck circle.
I'd mentioned Seth Smith on deck. There he is, waiting for his shot. Here's the 3-2 pitch. It's a grounder towards second. Rayburn with the throw, and there's one away. Well, they'll call Seth Smith back into the dugout. It'll be Eric Young Jr. to hit with one away here in the 8th inning. EY Jr., one of those guys that can certainly provide some spark for you offensively.
Well, you have to play the infield on the corners in now to honor the bunt.
Well, and it's tough on EY right now because when he first came up, they inserted him right into the top of the order, had some success, and then the defense got him a little bit in LA. It got him when he was at second base. They went another route with Chris Nelson, and he got hot. So unfortunately, he hasn't got consistent at bats in the last week to 10 days. So this is hard on him to come out. And today he was here at 1:30 taking ground balls from Tommy Runnels at second. He hit early with Carney Langsford and everyone else, trying to get some frequent swings at some pitches, trying to stay as sharp as he possibly can.
And this is a hard thing because you take that early batting practice, George, but nobody's throwing 97.
At 97 and moving.
Albuquerque's been high with all 3 pitches. 2 of them at 97, 1 at 96. The count 3-0 now. The 3-0 pitch. And he walked him on 4 straight pitches.
Jimmy Leland's going to look out now. Probably going to make a double switch here. He's funny. He walked out dugout, looked at umpire, and said, "Come here."
I'm not going to walk all the way
Come
over
here.
there.
I got something I want to tell you. I'm going to make a double switch. See, I'm going to bring that guy out of the bullpen in. And I'm going to take the guy off the mound. Now I'm going to take a guy out of the dugout and I'm going to run him out here somewhere. I'll let you know when he gets there.
Well, Santiago's going to come in for Rayburn at second base. And they'll make a move out of the bullpen. New Rapid Rewards, unlimited reward seats, and no blackout dates. Ramon Santiago has come into play second base for Rayburn. And the new pitcher will be David Percy.
Percy, who went from Toronto to Oakland and then in spring training on to the Detroit Tigers. And so now he's in a Tiger uniform trying to solidify things. Hard tour that came out of the Toronto system. That's where he was drafted and started his career.
Carlos Gonzalez 1 for 3 tonight.
Oakland receives Scott Sizemore, yeah.
And the crowd always boos when the pitchers try and keep a guy in check.
And two different moves from Percy. The first one was the knee came up a little bit higher. That one was a shorter stride to go to first. See if Eric could get a read on him.
There he goes. Swing and a miss. Throw to second base. And he's safe for the stolen base. That's his 4th stolen base of the season, and Jim Leland quickly out of the dugout.
And he's going to walk out. He goes, now you're going to let me talk to you right here.
He's given Johnson an earful, and he may not be around for long if he keeps it up.
Jimmy's saying he called him safe before he even got to the bag or a tag applied. I mean, Jimmy's arguing with him about it, but you know what? Held his ground well. He let him talk, say his piece, and then bark back at him, and everybody gets to bark, and everybody gets to stay in the game. A high fastball from him. Here it is. The throw in. Jimmy might have an argument. Jeff, let me ask you a question. As straight steal, why look back when you're close to the bag?
You really shouldn't. If it is a straight steal, the other thing is you need to slide a little bit more towards the outside part and try to catch the outside part of the bag, not the inside.
Oh, 0-2 the count now to Gonzalez. With a single already today, Carlos Gonzalez has a season-high 11-game hit streak. The 0-2 pitch from Percy. Ball 1.
Because of Carlos Gonzalez's long swing, a lot of guys, instead of throwing the slider, I know he struck out, but it was a ball. Instead of throwing the slider in here and having it break to the corner, they throw to the corner and break off because he has such long arms and plate coverage. See, that ball's up and away from him and out of the strike zone. That makes it pretty difficult to do anything with. But as a pitcher, you're scared to death to come to that inner half. You know, that ball's got to the sweep spot, and it's a good 3 to 4 inches off the plate.
And that was the pitch 3 weeks ago or so. He was swinging and missing. He wouldn't even foul those off.
The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, and he struck him out.
A good fastball here, but everything had been away, and then that ball cut right at the last second. He got the strikeout.
Let's keep an eye on Eric Young at second, because they've been one looking, no looking. As David Percy, the pitcher. An easier steal now with the right-hander
up instead of the lefty.
Chris Nelson is 2 for 9 in this series. Both hits have been home runs, the first 2 of his major league career. Percy behind him 2-0. Houston Street getting loose in the Rockies bullpen. The 2-1 to Nelson. There's one to center field. Jackson goes back, makes the catch. We go to the 9th inning. Rockies leading 5-3.
He had at the bottom of the 2nd inning. Lots of twos going on there. Then defense mechanisms. The Rockies with unbelievable defense today. And, of course, Mark Stout gets you into the clubhouse for the Toyota postgame show, guys.
All right, thank you, Alana. Don't forget, Toyota Talk continues during the entire postgame show, so keep your texting your comments in. Houston Street on the hill for the Rockies. Has 4 saves this month, 19 on the season.
And he's going to face Santiago. He was the pinch hitter. He came in on a double switch, I should say, and a defensive replacement. Street 19 of 21 in save opportunities. Let's see, have him go to work here at the top of this thing and get going.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Colorado Rockies and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Colorado Rockies. Santiago, Jackson, and Worth due up for Detroit. Wigginton playing shallow at third.
Well, Santiago's got very good speed, so you got to honor that. Todd Helton was also talking to Chris Nelson about what they would do defensively on a bunt if he pulled it up the line with him versus pushing it towards Ty Wigginton.
Fouled down the left field line. So Street quickly ahead on Santiago, 0-2. I talked to Houston Street earlier in the season, and he had said when he was 10 years old and he played catch with his dad in the backyard, his dad never once said a word about velocity. It was always about location.
Absolutely.
And Houston Street said even when he talks to his old University of Texas teammates, they still don't understand how big a difference 3 inches or 4 inches one way or the other makes at the major league level.
Or how big a difference strike one makes.
Yeah.
Now that's the discussion. Houston wanted to go with the changeup and misses off of the plate with it and out of the zone, hoping he'd chase on an 0-2 count. He did. It's now 1 ball and 2 strikes. And Santiago. Now they try that sinker back behind it about 8 miles an hour harder. That ball missed location, but it missed in a good spot above the hands and up.
Especially to the left-handed hitter. They like it down and in. The guys that throw 95, if it's straight and right over the middle of the plate, you gear up for that.
Guys love hitting against those guys. See the ball
goes. Well, the ball goes further.
Yeah, they see it pretty good coming out of the hand. They can adjust to it. It's the guy with all the tricks that everybody gets tired of. That ball just missed. Up and away.
So the count now even. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That's ball 3. Count full now. Here's the payoff pitch. This one popped up. Nelson underneath it. And puts it away for out number 1. That will bring up Austin Jackson. Jackson is 1 for 4, singled in the 3rd, and then has struck out the other 3 times. And he looks at a first pitch strike. Strike 2.
Very rarely will Street throw a changeup to a right-handed batter. He did there at 83 with good results.
The 1-2 pitch from Street. Grounder right back at him. He'll flip it to Helton for the 2nd out of the inning. And now the Tigers are down to their final out.
Final out, and this crowd on its feet at Coors Field to cheer on this ball club. You're starting to get into the part of that lineup that you don't want on base, and that's something that's not easy to do. But you're going to have to try to complete it here to give yourself any opportunity at all to finish this thing out.
Well, Vila's coming in to pinch hit.
Alex Avila will bat for Worth. Most of the 48,000 in attendance here tonight on their feet. That one a ball.
These two have never matched up since Houston has been over in the National League. He's been in the American League. Houston started his career in Oakland.
Strike. Evens them up at 1-1. Strike two, the swing and a miss by Avila.
One thing that Houston Street has added to his repertoire and very effectively this year has been the changeup. Used against left-handers primarily. That was an excellent changeup to Avila.
That had great depth on it, George. Field level, that dropped about 6 inches.
It's like a great piece of land you're trying to sell. He advertised it well and created a lot of movement, and he tried to ride this heater above the hands and hit 93 with it. Everything away, trying to negate the power of the left-handed bat by staying on the outer half of the plate.
The 2-2 pitch. 3-2. If Avila were to reach, Brennan Bosch is on deck. There's a concerned Rockies fan right there, looking for that final strike. And he walked Avila.
Closers just can't stand this, and obviously that's the last thing you want to do in a 2-run ball game is walk a guy. Street thought he had the strikeout on a hard sinker that he ran in, but it was down. It was out of the strike zone, but barely. Question is, how did Vian lay off of that thing?
You just hope that the umpire calls it a ball.
So here's Bosch. He looks at the first pitch ball. Got Miguel Cabrera on deck.
Todd Helton playing behind Avila. Not worried about him if he takes off.
Now hugging the line, preventing that double.
Well, there goes Avila. Swing and a miss by Bosch. They call it defensive indifference. Avila at second base.
Concerned Detroit fans as they come to watch these games here in Coors Field.
Everybody on their feet. Here's one to right field, down the right field line. It'll be a fair ball. That'll score Avila. And it's a 5-4 ball game on the RBI single by Bosch.
37 RBIs now for Bosch, and as we look at this pitch, appeared to be in a pretty good hitter spot. It was center cut and elevated fastball from Houston Street. Bosch does what hitters do, and that's hurt a mistake, and they hit a ball out into right center. The fan from Detroit says they've pulled one closer. Houston Street's trying to end their excitement in this ball game with the toughest out in their lineup, Cabrera. He's handled him throughout his career. He's 0 for 5 against Houston Street.
Outfielders have moved back to playing a no doubles now.
Cabrera fouls off the first pitch. The 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike two.
I got him out on that front foot on a hard slider, one of the better ones he's thrown, because he really elevated his elbow. He got on top of this slider and drove it to that outside corner. Watch how this pitch right there disappears off the end of the bat of Cabrera. You've got 4 shots to get him. Stay out of the power zone and don't give him a chance to beat you.
This one towards left center field. Blackman over, makes the catch.
And the Rockies win the ball game 5-4. And they are back to 500 for the first time since May 25th. They are now 35-35. That's the first time the Rockies have won 4 in a row since winning 7 straight back in mid-April. And how about Ubaldo Jimenez, who will pick up his first win at home this season? He's now 2-7. His last win at Coors Field came September 6, 2010. There's our Jimmy John's delivery of the game. Chris Nelson back in the 6th inning with a solo shot. That one ends up being the difference. His second career home run. At the time, that made it a 5-3 ball game. The Rockies hang on and win it 5-4. Stay right where you are. The Toyota postgame show is coming your way next.